Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ESA Cup Season 7, Stage 2. This time it is. I'm here with Nash, and my name is Bozemax. Welcome. Good evening.
Good evening. We've got some pretty banger games on our hands tonight.
Yeah, I
You want
mean,
to
it's
quickly run us through some stuff?
because first of all, of course, Stage 2 is starting today, which I'm very, very excited for. Of course, Stage 2 is being played in a Swiss format, which, if we take a look back at last season, the Swiss stage was just so spicy. It was so nice, and we really saw some unexpected games, unexpected outcomes, but also like some teams like moved all the way to the bottom of the lower matches and kind of fought all the way through the lower matches towards the end and still qualified. And with a mix of BO1s and BO3s, I think the stage could become pretty interesting.
I mean, yes, definitely. At the moment, as you said, we've got the Swiss stage ongoing, and we've got a couple of matches today that are going to be very, very big alongside the following few days.
Mm-hmm.
But for today, we're going to focus on we have. Oh, what did they rename to?
Cosma.
I've already forgotten.
Yeah,
Cosmo.
it's Cosma.
So
Cosma, of course, previously known as Team Element. They have apparently joined
yeah.
a organization which I don't know too much about, but I guess we'll see like an announcement coming out soon. But yeah, Element is now named Cosma Gaming.
Well, either way, we've got Cosmo or Element versus MDF for
Mm-hmm.
match one, um, and obviously coming up after that we've got Wii Sports versus Sevens, then Tracker Clan versus AGM. But focusing on this Cosmo MDF matchup right
Yeah.
now, I'd like to, before looking at the lineups, because we've seen them enough throughout
Mm-hmm.
the entirety of this stage
I mean, a
or the
roster
last
change
stage.
happened.
Yeah, very
There was a
true. But
yeah.
we'll come to those. We'll come to those. Uh, But as we've seen them enough, we'll quickly just run straight into what map we're going to be playing, so we can have a look at that before we
Okay,
see
sure.
what their strengths and weaknesses are based on maps.
Okay, well, Oregon, Nash. I know that Oregon is one of those maps you don't really mind casting too much. I mean, sure, it's a great map, but at the same time, like I've seen it said plenty of times, and other casters have said the same thing. It's one of those maps that we just tend to see a little bit too much. So, not too excited about it, but at the same time, it's a good map, and with these two good teams against each other, it can still give us some nice spectacle.
Well, Oregon's one of those maps that still heavily favors utility
Mm,
and heavily favors that sort of like methodical sort of play style and build into it rather than just a rush burst
yeah,
entry. The only real site that actually like favors that burst entry
yeah.
is the basement.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because it's so hard to push into as an
Mm-hmm.
attacker because there's so few entry points.
Yeah.
You have to take a stairs or a door or blue or one of the awful hatches. And realistically, if you can't get there, you can't get there and you lose. But it's one of those maps, as I said, very much favors that utility sort of meta. We'll probably see a lot of shields. We'll probably
Mm-hmm.
see a lot of these trap operators just scattered about here and there. And there's also been a strat emerging that used to be just a ranked strat, but is now becoming so
Oh,
common in comp, which is where you put your mute in the closet and you have a 1 hanging out over inside of the
right,
armory side, and you just play super aggressive as a defender.
right.
And I kind of want to see something like that coming out of these teams, something new, something different,
Mm,
spice up the game a little bit, and hopefully we'll be able to see that. But first, we'll go to the not operator lineups, the team lineups, and we'll let
yeah,
you talk us through those.
Yeah, because of course, team lineups, it's something that we cannot clearly see from these visuals. Unfortunately, the roster changes, of course, because the roster change period, like a period where the teams can change their rosters, has been there like in the past weekends, like in the transition between stage 1 and 2. So I don't exactly know what's new or what's old here. But yeah, of course, like here we have team and you have the champion of the last, sorry, not the champion, the second team of the last season. So very good team, has not been doing too great. I mean, they have ended up third of their group, which is still a nice accomplishment. They have qualified, sure, but if we take a look at their stats here, we can see that they have a 75% win rate, and the best map is Chalet, with that worst map being Clubhouse, and therefore Oregon being absent from that.
I mean, Chalet, another one of those maps that can be very heavily utility based,
Mm-hmm.
alongside a map like Consulate, as we can see in this one, and also Nighthaven, to be fair. But
Yeah.
either way, uh, if you want to run through the lineup, I'll let you go for it.
Yeah, of course, like the lineup, of course, we have Reclay, we have Shimizu, we have Zoro, we have Strobo, Yannick, Daniele, yeah, Lazari, and always no mercy here on the side of Cosma Gaming. Again, I'm not very sure what the changes have been here. We can check it in Discord, maybe, or maybe I don't think it's already on Wikipedia. But yeah, again, here, total win rate of 60%, just a little bit lower than MDF had. But in Consulate and Nighthaven, like the worst and best map, which again we won't be seeing in this match as it will be Oregon. But still, I'm
Yeah.
very curious to see how these two teams will do against each other.
Well, both teams do very much tend to favor that
Mhm.
sort of like a utility based style, which is something you get a lot from these like very overplayed or
Yeah.
new maps. The maps that are kind of in between, that haven't really been thoroughly just like boarded up by the defenders, are
Hmm.
the ones that are a bit more capable for attackers to be able to take these like sort of wild strategies and throw a blitz in or a lion and bring a dick heavy and see if they can get themselves in for a quick plant. Things like Clubhouse are good for things like that, especially when people go for like the bar site and there's so many entrances to basement that it just allows you so many opportunities. So moving into a map like Oregon, it's going to be really nice to see how these teams actually decide to create opportunities for themselves.
Hmm.
And realistically, I've said this quite a few times in the past, but like when it comes down to the older maps, especially a map like Oregon, it's very much about your in like mid round adaptability,
Yeah.
rather than your gun skill or your strategy. Your strategy.
Yeah, indeed. And as I'm just hearing that we're still waiting for a few players, we actually have one more thing to talk about because I think like some players or some people, some viewers might not be fully aware again with the Swiss system how it works again. I mean, we have only used it once. It has been used in quite a few other competitions in the meantime, but we can kind of talk about like how the Swiss system really works. So right now we are with a total of, let me just quickly think, a total of 16 teams. So a total of 8 teams have been eliminated during the group stages, and we're basically left with the best 66% of the competition. And the way things work in Swiss, like we have the seeding based on the group stages. So basically, the number one will play against the number 16, the two against number 15, etc. And basically, what happens whenever you win, you will move up, like up on level. If you lose, you'll move down on one level. You need to win 3 matches in total to proceed towards the next stage of the finals, like the finals brackets as we know it. While if you lose 3 matches, you will actually drop all the way out of the competition and you will be eliminated. And to spice up those elimination matches, like if you already lost 2 matches from that point forward, every match that you need to play will be a BO3 to re-spice things up and to really decide which team is worthy of staying in the competition a bit longer or that should be eliminated.
Well, perfect little explanation of the Swiss system, but
Oh yes,
we
we
do
have a
actually have
graphic.
a graphic to make it a little easier
Nice.
to understand. As you said, you win 3 matches, you qualify. If you lose 3 matches, you're disqualified. And this kind of like moves through the system through these lines, as you can
Yeah.
see, based on your win loss ratio, which is what is indicated by the numbers on screen.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, this visual hasn't been filled yet. We will work towards having a visual like this filled in the future. But to quickly go over the matches, we have the new team again, which was called again. Let me think.
Cosma.
Cosma, yes, Cosma MDF. Of Cosma versus MDF, we have Wii Sports versus 7S. And we have Tracker versus AGM. We have Minions versus Zach. We have Flawless 7 versus Mafia Squad. We have EOS versus MVG. E-Wave versus Windows Key, and LDL versus Aspire. So those are all of the teams that made it out of the group stage, and that's the order. I mean, the order they will play in, and the teams like the seeding. How and which teams will play against who during this week. Meaning, from now on, we will no longer have matches on Fridays and Sundays like we had during the group stage. From now, for this week, we'll have matches on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But also later on, there will also be some matches on the Thursdays as well. So all weekdays, no longer in the weekends.
Hmm. Very interesting. New little format of the way the games are played, but it brings a lot of the teams closer together.
Yeah.
Especially through this stage, and also gives them more time between their first match to actually analyze and move forward, try and predict who they're going to be placed against, that sort of thing, and actually
Mm-hmm.
get themselves moved closer to the sort of skill level of the team they're going to be coming up against if it's a team they
Mm-hmm.
think is formidable enough to take them down.
Yeah, in the end, the Swiss system is one big filter. It's really a filter. The best teams will end up with the best ones towards like the second and third rounds. The lesser teams will end up against the lower teams towards like again the second and third rounds. And it's just one really nice filter where the matches will be pretty even, especially like starting from next week. Today they might still be a little bit uneven, especially with the seeding system where the first one plays against the 16th, but still the matches will be a lot closer than we have seen during the group stage, which is of course a lot more nicer.
Well, as you said, the matches are going to be a lot closer, especially as it like filters through, as you said again, because we'll be seeing a lot of these teams sort of match up with each other in skill level, and as they, especially as the top teams move on to these like round 2 high matches and round 3 high matches, they're the games you're going to really want to see because they're the teams that have the highest potential to actually come out of this cup with a win. And if you really see like the stuff they're willing to put in, the grit, and well, if they're willing to come out of this and actually take like a very convincing win against another team that is one of those top 4 in round 3 of high matches, then it could be a very, very scary tournament for everybody else.
Yeah. And do you want me to say it in a pessimistic way or in an optimistic way? The following thing. You could choose. Pessimistic or optimistic? How am I going to say my next message?
Let's go optimistic.
Optimistic. Okay. 50% of this stage will make it into the playoffs.
There we go.
Okay, well, as the map is now loading in, we're going to Oregon for the very first match here of Stage 2 of ESA Cup Season 7. Oregon just quickly loading in, and now we're going to start with the operator bands. And I think, Nash, you're way better at me than discussing what these operator bands mean for the match. So go ahead.
It's Oregon. Realistically, you're going to see something like a Dekebi. You're going to see maybe Thatcher. Just things, whether it really depends on like what bands these teams like, but it's going to be meta bands, right? We're going to see like a Thatcher, maybe a Twitch if they really want to catch us off guard, or a Ying. There you go. Ying goes off, and it should be very easy from here on out because it'll be either a hard breacher, Thatcher, or Dekebi to follow on the attack. Alongside that on the defense, we'll probably see either Fenrir or Azami, and then a Solace. We see a knock. That's new to me. That's a band that we haven't seen in quite a long time.
Yeah, Nock used to be like one of the most banned operators for such a long time. I mean, the most banned attacker for such a long time. Currently, he's sitting in the second spot with 16 bans in total and almost at 30%, but that's nowhere near the Ying ban that we also seeing this match at a 50% right now, which is just insane.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of nuts. We see Solace go out first, so more than likely, it really is going to be between this Azami and this Fenrir, but we could also see something crazy like a Goyo, depending on whether these teams want to play that sort of style. But here's Fenrir going off the board, and we're going to be moving on with our day.
Yes, indeed. So these are the operator bands, the operators that we won't be seeing during this first map and match of today. So the players and the teams will need to work without these. For the first round, it's Team MDF on the defense on Team Orange. And for the first round, we are going, I mean, very understandably, to the basement, the most favorite bomb site on this map, laundry room, supply room.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
Well, I mean, by site statistic in general, it's one of, if not the most defender-sided site in the game. So it's one of these sites that, if played correctly by attackers, very clinically, very sort of in your face and actually trying to bait out these players, catch these 1v1s, it can be very good for the attacking side, but they really need to apply that pressure. And if the side of MDF really don't feel the pressure to do anything or react, that's when you're going to start to struggle on the attacking side for this site. I think if you're not able to really put your foot in the door early, maybe kill one of these roamers or try and catch one of these players through a hatch, you're going to struggle throughout the later area of the round. But as we move in, we do see the mirror. A very powerful operator, especially when conjoined with this Azami, because you've got that little Azami set up inside of the kitchen laundry sort of area. I keep calling it kitchen. It's not kitchen, it's laundry. I did the same with Outback.
I mean, there's like a bit of a kitchen counter in there, like yeah, some kind of counter.
Yeah, it's like a weird little setup that you can do with his army to like try and play that freezer head holes. And yeah, I don't like it, but some teams do, and it's kind of scary to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, with a bit of an architectural mind, I sometimes don't really understand the layouts of these kind of maps in Rainbow Six Siege. But hey, either way, of course, that will cause some of those misunderstandings or confusions. Well, meanwhile, we can see that the attackers already have entered the building. They are looking for a bit of information. They can see some rotations have been made, but there's no defender to be found. We can see one defender somewhere near the white stairs, likely the freezer stairs, and he gets the first kill. Likely it was A&M who gets the first kill there on replay. That's already the Finka off the board. A huge loss here for the offensive sides. And when A&M is still playing a position, he just gets the second. The Ash peeks around the corner, gets taken out, and suddenly we're already in a 3 versus 5 within the first 1 minute and 15 seconds.
They're so scared too. Like, they saw that hatch open in attic. They saw that there was a rotate into big tower, and they went, okay, we need to try and like clear out these players. And immediately they run out into that white corridor. They've got the gridlock on the top floor, and Finka just dies to the guy that's on freezer stairs, even though everybody is on site. So they're so afraid of these potential roamers that they haven't even paid enough attention to drone sight and actually make sure that nobody's around.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to be seeing this Hibana and Gridlock try and push down the freezer stairs. Sledge somehow gets caught from a shoulder peek by the looks of things, but now as it looks like Gridlock is going to be proning behind the little containers, but she gets her head taken off, and now it's just going to be Hibana standing around on these white stairs, gets taken out. It's a flawless round from the side of MDF to begin with, and that is something we didn't expect. From a team as formidable as Element in their group, we did not expect them to be on the receiving end of a flawless round this early, and that gives a lot of hope for the side of MDF.
Yeah, I mean, the first round is the first nice step in the right direction. It always gives you a bit of the motivational and yeah, like a nice boost for the team. So getting the first round on the board is certainly a good good thing for MDF. But at the same time, the new named team Cosma Gaming, I mean, maybe they need some time to get used to each other to just get used to playing again and need to feel the vibe a bit for this match. And then eventually they will hopefully start just playing a little bit better, because the first round wasn't too good for them.
Indeed, but at the moment, we are just going to be moving through this site rotation, and I think it'll slowly get weaker as we go. And as much as the basement was a very convincing round for the side of MDF, there wasn't any direct push. You lost 2 players early on the attack. I just don't think it was going well from the very beginning for the side of Cosma. So I think coming into the remainder of this game, they are going to be a little bit more careful. But something I have noticed is they've got a mute and a Wamai, and do you know where the mute and the Wamai are?
I do see some people near the master bedroom area, and oh, there he is. It's actually not the Wamai or mute, but in this case it's a Torn going for the very nasty spawn peek, taking a replay once again. A replay being the first opening kill for the team, this time not playing as the Finka but playing as the Ace, which is even worse, as they now will have to do without a single heart-breaching utility.
Yeah, you've just lost like a terrible amount of utility. I think he's restarting for some kind of issue, but he should be back without issues. We are seeing the Wamai hang around in shower corridor right now, as he is just going to be trying to take some engagements against the droning Finka. But as the line scan goes off, Zoro makes his way up towards the door and takes out the camera, but no one going to be hanging around waiting for him. Fleeks tries to take a push in, goes down, just manages to find one more in the meantime, and Shimizu going to be trying to get the flank onto the player inside of showers. We do see the Lion still hanging around outside, and there is going to be a player. Almost cuts him off as he is just hanging around over there. Variox goes for the jump out by the looks of things, but does get himself injured by Zoro, as now Zoro going to try and cross, but gets run out on by the other player. Does manage to get himself back in the building before being injured, but Shimizu still existing on that lurk play over towards the small tower side. Is he going to be able to find anybody in the meantime? He is going to be coming up behind 2 of them as he makes his way towards this double door, makes his way through, doesn't know there's a man prone inside of the shower cubicle. He is going to be, I can't tell if he's on cams or if he's just ADSing. He is going to stand up, a beautiful flick onto that player, and almost gets a third.
Wow, that was close. That was so close towards the end. Indeed, it could have easily become a triple kill there, which would just significantly increase his chances. Because I think there was still plenty of time on the clock remaining, and then just bringing things to 1 versus 2, that would have just been insane. But yeah, unfortunately, the third one, he didn't manage to get it. And yeah, we're now on a 0-2. But luckily, the player off, I was about to say Element, but Cosma Gaming returning in time. And hopefully, Cosma Gaming can get our things together and start scoring some points anytime
Defenders,
soon.
protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
By the looks of things, I was just doing a little bit of digging to see how many times these teams have played Oregon. And obviously, one thing we do know is that the side of Cosma in their group played Oregon quite a few times. And they got very mixed results. Specifically, if we just quickly run through them, they went 7-5 against Pulse Nation, who didn't make it to the Swiss stage. They went 6-8 against Minions, who were the team at the top of their group. They went 7-5 against Sevens, who are one of the other teams that did make it to the Swiss stage. And then they also played against AGM, who were fourth place in their group, 7-8. So they've played it 4 times, lost twice, won twice.
Okay.
Whereas the opposing side of MDF have played Oregon once
Yeah.
against Crown Zero, who, yes, are at the bottom of their group, but they won it 7-0.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay.
So such a stark difference
no.
in results, and also more than likely they probably weren't showing off everything they had, strat wise.
Yeah.
So realistically, in this game, after taking a quick look at statistics and things that have been going on, it looks like a very strong map for the side of MDF.
Yeah, and one thing MDF does like to show off is how easily they can get kills on their opponent without them even entering the building. Again, one player already losing the life very early on the side of Cosma Gaming. Things are starting not good once more, as we're already finding ourselves in the 4 versus 5, with Alex just having a very nice and sneaky angle, waiting for anyone to hop in from the window. But also the player just playing a little bit closer towards the exact window. But a castle, as the flashbangs are being thrown, gets the kill there on replay. Yet again, another defender losing his life. And also Strobo getting injured and getting finished off by Just. And once right now we find ourselves in 2 versus 5, make that a 1 versus 5 as the Ace loses life. All is falling apart, where Flix does get the kill there on Variox, but finds himself in a very tough situation where he's now in a 4 versus 1, making a 4 versus 3 as he takes out Aina. But the opponents, they are hunting him, they're getting closer, they're looking for him, trying to find him, trying to take him out. Even verticality is being created, damage is being done, but he is not able to get the kill. He's hunted from every single possible direction at the moment, but makes his way towards a safe position where he's now finding himself in attic.
There is 14 kills on the side of the defense right now, and only 5 on the side of the attack.
Wow.
We are going to be seeing a bit of aggression coming out of Fleeks right now, as Fleeks has managed to find himself 2 for the round or 3 for the round. Either way, he's going to be making his way over towards White Stairs, has his back turned to it, doesn't quite know there's a player going to be standing there, and I'm not sure if he's actually going to be able to win this round if he doesn't try and take care of this player that's hanging around White Stairs, runs past the door, gets shot at, takes a bit of damage, but still isn't fully aware. Tries to apply this vertical pressure, kind of wants to drop the hatch here by the looks of things, but as the door gets opened on top of White, he is just going to be trying to take the peek onto that. Nade in hand, throws it over just to try and clear that out, but obviously nobody hanging around that area as we can see the outlines through the walls. He is going to be trying to open up security and apply a little pressure over there, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to be trying to peek him as of this very moment, so he tries to take the hatch drop. Down he goes, but the echo's on cams. The echo's on cams. Tries to take some shots through the wall, isn't able to find it, and now we're just going to be seeing him try and find any position possible to try and get 1 or 2 of these kills, because he's going to need to find the kills to win. He doesn't have the diffuser in hand, and it looks like the defenders are able to pick themselves up 1 more. That's a full site rotation, and we are 3-0.
Yeah, that's not very positive for the side of Cosma Gaming. Right now is about the really the breaking point where they need to start getting some rounds. If they don't start scoring points right now, I think it's pretty much all over for them.
Standard split on Oregon is definitely a 4-2 in favor of the defense.
Yeah,
but
Defenders,
anything more than that is a little scary.
Yeah, okay, but especially also with losing just those 3 rounds in a row, or 4 rounds in a row, that would it's just not good. It really hurts your the vibe within the team, the momentum, and the kind of come up with the word. But either way, like it's not good for a team. And like yeah, still 2-4 is fine, but it would be nicer than if you at least spread out the rounds a little bit more evenly.
Well, a lot of the mental game is individual performance, and at the moment, if you go through the players on both sides, it's like even
5 seconds
the
left before
worst off, like the player that's worst off on the side of the
Attack
defense is
objective
1-on-1.
to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Like
Mm-hmm.
everyone
Yeah.
else is having like a pretty good individual
Yeah,
performance.
indeed. Yeah, 2
Whereas
players
on the
all
opposite side, you've got a player with 2 and 3 and a player with 3 and 3. Everyone else is 0 and 3.
Yeah, indeed.
So you're on the side of Cosmo, you're going to be a little tilted. It's going to be normal. You're just going to have to try and work through it. And I think if they can work through that negative emotion and that sort of like really toxic atmosphere, it might not be. It really depends on how the team plays and who they are, but it very much can be. And if it is, if they're able to work through it, that's going to be the difference maker for them.
Yeah, indeed. And with Cosmo Gaming up once again playing, attacking the same bomb site, they hopefully have learned from the mistakes from the previous time. Of course, they lost so many lives on those freezers. There's 2 in total, I believe, and it really cut off their momentum. So hopefully they have learned a little bit from the mistakes. And at the same time, one thing is already can be considered an improvement is not losing any player within the first minute or so. So that's at least one positive thing to say about Cosmo Gaming. But let's hope they can do even better for this round.
I do like the 0 pick. It's something different, something people aren't going to expect, and it's something effective. It's one of those picks that you don't see often enough. But speaking of picks you don't see often enough,
there we go.
Ine takes the swing onto Shimizu and manages to find an entry with his with his shotgun. Manages to find another, and this is exactly the same way the round was played previous. We're going to be seeing the hatch open. Zero's going to be standing around on it, isn't able to find the kill for himself. Instead, another player falls. Hibana goes down this time, and now it's just going to be Strobo and Zoro pushing against these remaining 5 players on the defense. They've heard the nade get cooked, but it is going to be caught by a magnet, as now we're going to be seeing a couple engagements go on between this Gridlock and Zero.
Yeah, with just 2 attackers remaining, they only have 55 seconds to do their job. If they can take out at least 2 defensive players, things will look much better for them. But they need to make this happen. They also do not have the diffuser in hand at the moment, with the mirror being found, and also another player on the other side getting taken out, taken care of. That was Mamai. We now find ourselves in a 2 versus 3, which seems a lot more possible for the attacking team. Yes, they're still at a disadvantage in terms of man count, but there are some more possibilities. However, the time is running out. There is only 30 seconds remaining, so they do need to work with the very limited time they have been provided with. And we're not, actually now having the diffuser as well, the opportunities have increased significantly.
Indeed. They have found 2 picks for themselves. They are going to duo drop the hatches, and down they go, but down they go twice over, and that's going to be the round over. But it is crazy how one-sided this affair is right now.
Yeah.
We have seen...
Yeah, from what I heard right now, we're actually going to have a little rehost as one player is apparently having some issues with something, so that is going to be sorted, and I believe that player will rejoin with a different account to solve that issue. But yeah, that means that we have a little bit of downtime right now. We can just quickly talk about the match, how things are being going right now, because of course it's an 0-4 in the advantage of MDF, which is a great score for them, especially for the first half, with still 2 rounds to go. But what does this tell you for the remainder of this match, Nash?
I mean, just in general, like how convincing these rounds are. The closest they actually got was on Kitchen Meeting, and even then, it was a 1v5. I just think that it's looking borderline impossible for the side of Cosmo right now, and I really don't think there's any position that they're going to be able to pull themselves out of. When it comes down to the rotation, if we go 4-2 split, and there are some like miraculous rounds come out of Cosmo, I imagine we're just going to see like the same sort of performance on attack, because Oregon, as I said, one of those maps, it relies heavily on your mid-round adaptation. And if you're not able to adapt in the midst of the game that's ongoing, then you're going to get ruined by it. Whereas if you have that sort of adaptability and you're able to change the way you're playing, or the things you're doing, or the areas you're watching, the angles you're holding. As a defender, you're able to just absolutely maul another team. And that kind of goes the same way on the attack. If you're able to bait out these players, try and find 1v1s, take these picks, move people out of different positions with nades and everything else of the sort, it's just use your utility in order to be able to try and make an opening for yourself. That's where you kind of thrive on the attack, and we're not seeing any of that from Cosmo right now.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, one thing that could technically or potentially be positive here for Cosma is that this is technically one big tactical timeout for them. So if there's any issues they want to talk about, want to resolve, like figure out, then this is their perfect chance to actually do so. And there's also a good chance to throw MDF a little bit out of their momentum that they had gained. And then also, of course, the player with the issues, which are now supposed to be resolved after this Rios has happened. There is a bit of opportunity here for Cosma Gaming, but yeah, like getting 1 round doesn't look too good for them. Getting 2 rounds makes things technically possible, but like you already said, already explained, the way MDF has been playing, things are not looking good for Cosmo in this case.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to the side of MDF are playing insane. There's really no flaws. There's a little bit of overswinging coming out of a few of their players, which is why a couple of these rounds have been so close. They're getting very hungry for kills, and I think they're aware. But I think that should give more of an advantage to the side of Cosmo. Cosmo need to be trying to play around that and maybe even trying to bait it.
Yeah. Okay, we just got the notification or like the information that the match will resume in 2 minutes, so we have 2 minutes more of time to just talk a little bit more. Like, yeah, I mean, what is there to say? Like the way that Cosmo has been playing, like how many people have died on the white stairs? First round it was 2 people. Second round it was 2 again.
I think it's 6. I think
3 each round.
I think it's 6 because I think when they were pushing the first floor site, we saw 2 people die from a player that was on the white stairs, but on the upper echelon of white stairs. So it's like we've seen just from 2 different white stairs positions so far, 6 people die.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. Like the first time it happened, they lost quite a few people, and I mean, it happens. Shit happens. You can make a mistake, and it's going to turn out terribly. But the second time, I didn't see too much of an improvement happening to try to counter that position better. Like there was a nade being thrown, like bouncing off the wall, kind of rolling towards that smoke or mute, whoever it was on that stair. But besides that, I didn't really see any kind of like new thing coming to actually be in a better position to actually counter the position a bit better. So that really questions like, what is Cosmo doing in that case?
Well, I think a lot of Cosmo's struggle is based heavily around their ability to be ready for these gunfights. And like as I said, that adaptation, just like there was a player on the white stairs in the first round where you lost 2 players.
Yeah.
Just stun the hell out of that guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do something. Like, throw some nades, throw some stuns, go crazy. Make them have to bring a warden with a shotgun in that position instead. And that's where it kind of becomes better.
Yeah, because like in the end, 1 nade was being thrown, and that just didn't help. That then it went for the same gunfight against the smoke with the same shotgun. Like it's just such a strong position for him to be in, and they need to bring more ways to counter to actually do something good against a player like that. Okay. Well, I believe that the match is resuming right now, so we should be able to start. Okay. So apparently we were supposed to start right now with the next, with the remainder of the match, the 5th round, basically. But apparently another Rios is happening due to whatever issue. So I guess we'll just jump to like a little break screen. Hopefully not a long one, and then we'll be back with the second half of this match. See you guys soon. And welcome back, everyone. After a double rehost, we're finally back with this match. It's still an 0-4 score in the advantage of MDF. With 2 more rounds for them to go on the defensive side, they are on a very good track to potentially win this match. Where it's about time for the members of Cosmo Gaming to finally start scoring some points and put up some resistance against their opponent.
I mean, we're at a 50% flawless round rate at this point. I'm pretty sure.
Attackers need to locate
Sorry?
and defuse bombs.
I'm pretty sure they've had 2 flawless rounds.
Right. Yeah, at least one.
They've had at least one, but I'm pretty sure was the last one we watched not a flawless. I don't remember.
I'm not even sure anymore. No, it's been ages.
Yeah, it's been like an hour. Not literally. No one take offense to me bullying either team in the chat, because it's not serious. It's not that deep. But I like to
10 seconds left.
pretend that Cosmo are faking tech issues
5 seconds to go.
because they're currently down 0-4. It's kind of scary, like how well MDF are playing right now. Because MDF, alongside, like throughout the entirety of the last cup, we were constantly saying that they're like one of the strongest teams on console.
Oh yes.
One of the strongest teams on console. One of the strongest teams on console. And then we come to a game like this, and we just see it proven. We come to a game like this, they're in 3rd place, they're against 2nd place from a different group, which in that group had the previous winners of the last cup. And we're just seeing them absolutely dominate against such a good team. And I think realistically, this shows like real signs of life for MDF going in towards the rest of the Swiss and maybe even playoffs.
I mean, they made it to the finals in the previous season for a very good reason, and of course, they're very much looking for a second chance to make it to those finals once more and actually claim the title of being the champion. Of course, that's still a long way for them to go, but at least they made it out of the groups and starting well for this second stage. Meanwhile, it's Shimusu getting the first kill there on Just. That's actually the first opening kill, I think, from the side of Cosmo Gaming, but then it's immediately reframed by Shimusu getting taken care of, and now we're in an equal 4 versus 4.
Now we see a bit of a swing from the player that switched account, Variox, just onto that trophy door. Does manage to find his kill, but now they've stagnated a little bit. They're going to be sitting around trying to get these drones in, trying to make sure that they're able to clear out any of this utility that they can. They're going to be opening up the backside of Attic, and a perfect pre-aim here from the side of Thorn. Could have actually managed to find that head if she didn't move, but instead, as she decided to change her angle, we lost out on that kill, but she's going to be going for a repeat.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the attacking side loses their Harbitcher, who did most of the work, but ain't another kill there off Fleece. Brings us to 2 versus 3, making it 2 versus 2. Astrobo gets a kill, but this 2 versus 2, the last 50 seconds have now started. But Navarros gets a kill there on Strobo and leaves Criven all left standing in this 1 versus 2 situation. Playing as the figure, gets a beautiful headshot there on Variox. Now finds himself in a 1 versus 1 with Aina being fairly low HP and gets the kill. And that's the first round going to Team Blue, to the attacking side of Cosmo Gaming. And finally, not too late yet, they scored their first point.
That's insane. There's no way that should work. Just being able to walk in like that and be able to find yourself the kills. It's like you're coming into this post rehost, right? And something that helps a lot of players is a clear scoreboard, because it's like once the scoreboard is clear, you're not focusing on what you did before, you're focusing on what you're doing now. True. And that's a very like real mental thing that like people talk about in Siege. And I think that coming into this half definitely like changed the mindset of like especially the thinker on their team. And I think that'll just carry on. Especially in these gunfights. I don't know if it will carry on strategically, but we'll have to wait and see. But especially in these gunfights, he looks very strong, very confident, and very able to just really get himself in there. Whereas before, it was Fleets that was doing a lot of that work.
Yeah, it's a bit sad that, of course, the scoreboard was reset because MDF was looking so great. They had so many kills on their side, and we can no longer see them. We will need to like do the calculations when we watch the VOD. But yeah, of course, those have been reset right now. We're now proceeding to the sixth round, so the final round for MDF to play as a defensive side, which has been going so incredibly well for them. While Cosmic Gaming gets another chance to continue the momentum they gained in the previous round to potentially add another score to the board.
I also have like a pretty hot take that I was talking about with some friends the other day.
Okay.
Legion hasn't spotted this drone. Ana has no idea that this ace knows where he is. And it's going to be the player on the basement stairs that actually comes up and finds the kill. But that drone is absolutely incredible. And I'm really surprised that Legion didn't see it. A hot take I have, a conversation I was having with my stack and a few other people the other day. Legion is just like, there's no point in bringing Oryx anymore.
I mean,
because
yeah.
Oryx's main counter, or the main thing Oryx counters, is shields. The main thing Legion counters is shields, but in a different way. And Oryx can make rotates. You've got the super shorty on Legion now. You don't need that. You've also got impacts if you want like a sudden rotate. And
I see what you mean.
Then you've got the same gun. You've both got 1x sights. We are seeing a lot of kills come out of the defensive side right now, as they have just managed to get it all the way down to a 1 versus 3. This confident thinker isn't able to find one more, as it does look like that 3v1 is just going to work out perfectly in favour of the side of MDF. We're going to be going for a 5-1 half. But the final thing is jumping up hatches. It's like, how important is that? Like, it's not. Like, it's very infrequent that you're able to get a late round flank from a hatch.
Yeah, it's a very unpredictable thing and a very intimidating thing. Like knowing that you're playing against an Oryx who can do that, I think it does have like a positive impact because of that. But yeah, you're right. Like the actual jump happening and being useful, it's pretty rare. Yeah.
Like the impact of Oryx is so negligible now, especially when you can just bring a Legion. That he's just like borderline unnecessary as an operator. There is no use for him because they're both the same speed. So it's not like you're losing out from like a 3-speed to a 2-speed. They both have the exact same gun, but Legion just has the better secondary.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Legion has had a really nice buff to help him out. Also, the return of the initial damage is huge in my opinion. Like you can get kills with Legion again, which was very rare before. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Legion has gotten a lot better. Oh, spawn peek happening from Big Tower potentially? No?
Potentially. He definitely opened it, but just didn't quite peek far enough to be able to see the Lion that was walking up. But I don't think Lion even spotted that the window was punched. But he is going to be making his way through the Warden, going to be sitting there with his shotgun in hand, going to be seeing if he can maybe try and catch him from the upper side of those tower stairs. The pest's going to be dealt with very quickly. A beautiful pre-fire onto Shimizu is going to take him out, put him off the board, and now MDF are in such a good position. They've got that opening frag. They're going to be moving them. They're going to be moving themselves down these tower stairs. They do have the Nomad, who's going to be the big difference maker in this push because he's going to be denying those players from being able to come up for a late round flank. But C4 comes out from the Mute, isn't able to find any damage because it's perfectly blocked by the box. A really unlucky stick from the Mute. We do see Lion getting ready to make his way down the stairs. The Mute going to be waiting for him. No pre-fire this time as Mute is able to just get that shotgun shell clean into his skull, and now we're going to be seeing Mute fall off and a bit of a stagnation for both sides.
Yeah, the members of Cosmo Gaming trying to find a way to find some revenge for those very strong shotgun positions on the stairs. I mean, one of the players did get taken out, but they have been able to take out the Lion this time around, with the Mute still playing around those very stairs. Flick's currently just looking for a flank from the freezer stairs, just waiting with his D4 in hand, waiting for anyone to try and open up the window of the door in this case, after which he can throw it straight into the hallway. This could become a very strong kill and potentially even a double kill if he does it right. The C4 is being thrown, goes out, finds one, almost a second, but again, he in the end finishes the very damaged player and brings his team to a 4 versus 2 situation.
That's actually beautiful. That might have saved the round there. They've managed to get 2 more kills, which is really nice. And I mean, it looks like they don't even have cameras. The dead attackers aren't even sitting on cams. They're just watching POVs. We are seeing one of them, which is the Flores, just bounce onto those cameras, see if he's got any good drones. But it doesn't look like he has, as he just goes straight back onto those POVs. And Veriok's going to be pushing in through Laundry. Is going to be in a bit of a precarious position if he runs himself into one of these players. Isn't going to be opening up that mirror just yet. Decides to do it now, and now Mirror tries to take the swing. She does find that kill and tries to take the swing onto the next. Isn't able to find that one, but dealt quite a lot of damage. And now we're just going to be seeing Cade and Mute try and fend off against this Buck. We potentially could see a shotgun versus shotgun bout in the back of this freezer, as we are going to be seeing him get a bit closer to this door. But as he tries to peek through the head holes, the Mute swings through the door, and that's going to be the Buck falling. And well, the defense managing to find round one on a very lucky save from the Mozzie.
Yeah, so we're having a little pause right now to just take a moment of time to actually fix some of the hand cams, because of course, like just for the past seasons, ESA cares a lot about fair plays, and for those reasons, hand cams are in place. So just make sure players play with an actual controller or some kind of licensed device, and not with like a mouse or keyboard, which is like considered cheating, not just by us but also by Ubisoft itself and even PlayStation. So yeah, for this reason, we're just quickly pausing the game so we can get the players to sort those cams, so we can resume the game in a fair manner.
Well, either way, at the moment, the side of MDF are playing incredibly. And I think that with how close, like, bear in mind, MDF's first round on defense was basement, and it was a flawless round.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that that, as the most defender-sided site in the game, without any gimmicky push, was that close is insane. And I realistically don't see them winning the top floor.
No, we'll find out in a short moment as the game now has continued. So we should be able to see the gameplay very soon back on our screen and see how things go from here. Because, of course, Team MDF still in a 3-point advantage with the members of Cosmo Gaming only being on 2 points at this moment. So they're still quite far behind on the opponent, but they still do have an opportunity to work things around. They have shown that they can actually win rounds. They have 1 and 2 in total, and potentially there's more where that came from.
10 seconds remaining.
Indeed, I think realistically, if they're able to find this round, this game probably ends 7-3. Because I think they're going to be a lot more ready to take on the basement side on the side of MDF the moment they go to it again. And I also don't really imagine that with the way that they've played so far, I don't imagine seeing Cosmo winning the first floor site. Just because of that methodical playstyle is what it favors. MDF play that methodical playstyle. I think this is a 7-2/7-3 game. If they lose this round, it's 7-2. If they win this round, I think it goes 7-3. I don't see anything else happening.
So Musso trying to get some payback for the early spawn picks that happened in the previous half of this match, but getting punished for it. So not working in their advantage as we now find ourselves in the 4 versus 5. And also Zoran getting damaged quite a bit, but then even getting finished by Alex. 2 defenders already down within the first 55 seconds. That's huge for the attacking team of MDF, leaving just 3 defenders left standing, after which Craven does get a kill there on Just. Also a bit of damage that being dealt on himself. But with a 3 versus 4, they are finding themselves in a very difficult position where Aina does get damaged quite a bit. The Mozzie gets taken care of, and wow, within a very short moment, Alex gets 2 more kills, eliminates the whole entire enemy team, and secures yet another point for the side of MDF, putting them on 2-6 match point.
It's just the want to take gunfights, the need to be able to create that space for themselves that they have on the side of MDF that you're just not seeing out of Cosmo right now. And I think on the side of Cosmo, you should really be trying to take more initiative, try and bring the fight to them without putting yourselves in these awful positions, without doing that sort of thing. Try and take your swings and play your like refrags, or even if you have to try and like use utility to bait them, like sacrifice an impact grenade for an audio cue or something like that. Just try and play these fights a little better, because at the moment you're, I mean, as you saw in the final kill cam there, we saw Flores just walk into sight.
Yeah.
And immediately just flattened 2 people that didn't even look his way.
Yeah, those are
And
just those are just not allowed to happen.
5 seconds. to
yeah,
insertion.
you can't be letting that happen, especially when you're coming into a match point round. Like, you know that if they win it, they go to match point, and that's where you start getting scared inside of Swiss, because you want to be showing minimal games possible, and every single win game, every single high game is a best of 1, right?
Sorry,
If I remember
yeah,
correctly.
yeah,
Yeah.
anything but the lower elimination matches are BO3.
Yeah.
BO1,
So
yeah.
every high game is a best of 1.
Yeah,
So
correct.
if you're able to get through the
no.
entirety of this in just 3 maps, then you're completely safe going into the playoffs, because you've got minimal information about how you play on a lot of the maps out there.
I think MDF was one of those teams who actually managed to do that also in the previous season. So it would be a nice one for them to secure that one more time. But yeah, for now, it's a 3 versus 3. The man count is equal. Both sides have suffered 2 casualties, but attackers are getting very close to the side, with Knevich just getting a kill there on Criven to bring us to a 2 versus 3. Ace charges are coming out to open up those walls even further and make it very difficult for the defenders to play on sides. Kills are happening on every side, but in the end, it's a 1 versus 2 with only Frost left standing versus 2 attackers. And I was just getting that final kill for the team, securing that final point they needed. They win with a 2-7 score.
Yeah, it's a crazy game from MDF, really. I think moving forward into the group stages, potentially they just had a bit of like rust behind them on how they wanted to play a few of those maps, or maybe they just had some unlucky maps in general. But the way they've played so far in this matchup alone, they're definitely one of the strongest teams I've seen play across this cup so far.
Yeah, and of course, there's always the chance that you just also were a bit unlucky, you know, like where you get like matched up against very good teams in your group, where the other groups can technically be a little bit easier. There's always those kind of opportunities, or just that you match up with teams that are just not are very good at countering you, while other teams are not very good at countering you. But yeah, that way, like this is like a new opportunity for them to play against new teams for the first time this season. And they can really showed what they're really capable of. And like I was about to check like whether MDF did make it out of the Swiss stage flawlessly like last season. I think they did. But yeah, again, like I said, MDF is looking for yet an opportunity to make it to the grand finals like they did last season. Last season they ended second, but of course their big aim is to actually make it and end first for the season.
Well, yeah, the big aim is to just win, but it's like moving through the Swiss. It's very tedious and scary, especially if you're not able to win your first match, because you lose your first match. Yeah, you're going to be against another team that lost, but you're also against another team that lost against a team that is about as formidable as MDF.
Yeah.
So you're a little rattled. You're going to be against a team that's a bit closer to your skill level, and realistically, it's going to be an even harder fought victory or loss than you may have experienced previous.
Yeah. Yeah, this first week will really take the teams into like a bit of a place where they're supposed to be, and after this week, the matches will be extremely close as the filter process is then like really taking shape. Yeah, for now, this is the first match of today, a 2-7 score in the favor of MDF. So, of course, MDF scoring those first points. We'll be playing against the winning teams of again, one of the winning teams next week. But for now, we will be having a little break. We will be back after this match with Wii Sports versus, let me quickly check. Was it again? The 7th Esports,
Wii Sports
the
versus
team without a logo. But yeah, like after a little break, we will be back. So stay close, just grab a drink, go to the toilet, and we'll see each other in about 5 to 10 minutes. And welcome back, everyone. After a very short break, we're back here for the second match of today, the second match of group of the second stage of ESA Cup Season 7. And we're going to have a beautiful match here between Wii Sports and 7S Esports.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much as you said, Wii Sports versus 7's Esports. And we are going to be seeing, again, 2 of these teams that are relatively close in standing.
Yeah,
I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, I mean, Wii Sports was second of Group C, while Sevens was third of Group A. So they're fairly similar. Sevens was on 8 points, while Wii Sports was on 11. So there's a bit of a difference there, but still they are fairly close to each other. So this should mean some very good things. These two teams, they haven't played against each other, of course, as they were separated by the groups, but today they will play against each other, and I'm very excited to see how this will go.
I mean, yeah, so am I. By the looks of things, we will just quickly, once again, before we go to the actual team lineups, we're going to look at the map bans and just see where we're going to be going.
I mean, I will be happy if we get to see something different than Oregon, but unfortunately, no, it's going to be Oregon yet once more. I can already see the smile on your face. You don't mind. I mean, we did have a beautiful match, or an interesting match previously in Oregon, but I just would love to see something else. We passed the whole group stage, by the way, the whole group stage, a total of, let me just quickly do some counting there. A total of 54 maps were played. So 52 maps were played in the group stage, and not a single time we played Nine Haven Labs. I mean, that's a bit disappointing, right?
It's to be expected. I mean, I've had some conversations with a couple of people, and I know that there are pocket strats for a few of these teams that are coming out for things like Consulate, for things like Night Haven, etc. And I think they could become definitely much more prominent maps coming into especially playoffs and maybe even the later end of the Swiss stage. But I think at the moment it is going to stay banned. It is going to stay in pocket. But something I quickly wanted to talk about is on the topic of Oregon. We see that Wii Sports have played once Oregon in the group stage, and it was against MVG, who they beat 7-5, and MVG were fourth in their group. And on the opposite side, we see Sevens, who have played Oregon 3 times in their group. And surprisingly enough, they lost 7-5 to Cosma, 7-4 to AGM, but beat Minions 8-7, who were top of their group.
Okay. I mean, that's certainly an interesting thing. Like, they do seem to have a lot more experience with a map like Oregon, even though it didn't always work out in their favor. But still, like, playing Oregon 3 times kind of shows that they are somewhat confident with the map. Otherwise, they wouldn't go to it so often. So I'm very excited to see how they will do in a map like Oregon then.
I mean, yeah, I like perfectly agree. Like, I think it's going to be one of them games where more than likely we see a bit of back and forth once again. But obviously, last one we expected back and forth, and it was a complete whitewash. But let's quickly have. Well, I'll quickly leave you to run us through the lineups and also their best and worst maps.
Yes, so again, we're starting out with a lineup here of Team Wii Sports. I'm not going to go over every single name. You can read them yourselves. But one of the things that I do care about is the total win rate of 80% for Team Wii Sports. That's a pretty nice win rate, the highest that we have seen tonight so far, because we saw like a 75%, I think a 60%. So 80% is by far the highest that we have seen so far. But then the best map is Clubhouse, and the worst map is Cafe, of which neither we will see today. Then looking at 7S Esports, we will see a 60% win rate, which is again kind of similar to what we have seen with MDF, I believe. But then Clubhouse is the best map, and Oregon is actually their worst map. But of course, it has to do with the fact they played it 3 times and lost it twice. So worst map in terms of
entirely
play
based
maps.
on round difference.
Yeah, and it's like in terms of played maps. It's not per se their worst map. Like, maybe it could very much be the Night Haven or even Bank or Border is way worse for them.
Yeah.
But of the maps they played, it is their worst map.
But the other maps they played, just for a reference on why I say it's entirely based on round difference, as I said, 8-7 on Oregon against Minions, 7-5 and 7-4 against Cosmo and AGM respectively. But on the maps they won, or the other 2 maps they played, should I say, they played Clubhouse, which they won 7-0.
That's my best map, yeah.
And they also played Chalet, which they won 7-5. So their round difference for both of those maps, they've got what, +2 on Chalet, and then +7 on Clubhouse. Whereas they have like a -2, -3, a -4 round difference
Okay.
on Oregon. So
Mhm.
it's one of those where it entirely comes down to round difference, but with the results they have, they don't look weak on the map at all.
No, indeed. Okay, well, this looks very promising. I'm hoping for a very close match, a closer match at least than the previous one, of course, because that started with a four. No, it was a 5-1 split. Yeah, 5-1 split, and started with a 4-0 at one point even. So I hope this match will be a lot closer. That we will see the rounds being like going back and forward a little bit more evenly, and hopefully then this match will be a lot more thrilling. I believe we will start any moment as the players are pretty much ready. So soon we will see which of these two teams is the strongest one.
And indeed, we will. Just a quick reminder: third place in well, third place in Group A is Sevens Esports at
Yeah.
the moment. Or I say at the moment in their final group stage standing with 8 points, and also second place in Group C, which is arguably stronger slash weaker depending on which teams you consider. So it's one of those where you kind of just aren't able to really predict it.
Mm-hmm.
But onto the ban phase, I expect something relatively similar. The Ying's going to go.
Yeah.
It's one that we know, and I completely disregarded in the previous map, but I should have probably thought of. Alongside that, we're probably going to see maybe a Thatcher. I don't think we'll see Knock again. I think we'll probably see like a Thatcher or something hard breach related, maybe a Jackal or a Dekebi if they really want to play around this sort of site defense. But I think the Monty is possibly a target ban, but I think the defender bans will stay the same. It'll be a Fenrir or an Azami, and then the Solace.
Yeah, Monty is an operator that doesn't per se make a lot of sense on a map like Oregon, so therefore it's indeed a thing safe to assume that it might be a target ban here, especially if one of the players can play very well with it. Yeah, it's understandable, but this is then followed up by a Fenrir ban, which is a bit more common, as we also saw in the previous map.
Well, the thing is, the reason we can kind of expect this Solace to come out from the final defender ban is because she's one of those operators that is like, well, she's the highest skill ceiling operator in the game at the moment, and the skill ceiling is so high that just the average skill level is so much higher on Solace than any other operator. You have that SMG-11, which is the highest DPS gun in the game. You have the P90, which is a 51 round magazine, which basically means as a defender you pre-fire everything, and you win gunfights. Then you also have the gadget that can track any what do you call it? Any
Electronics
electronic gadget through walls, including Finker's nanobots
and phones,
and phones,
if active.
and can live track Lion. You can live track Lion while he's using his scan. It's crazy. Like, she is stupidly good as an operator for these games, and I think that her being taken off the board is a very smart decision, especially on Oregon, which is a map that, for the top floor site in particular, can have a lot of vertical presence. And if you have a player in attic, you can't
Mhm.
really plant. If the defenders have a player in attic, they can't really plant on top of the foosball table. And then even if there's not a player in attic, if they have a player on white or even able to throw a C4 from the bedroom door, you could still be in very big trouble. So I think that when it comes down to the sort of map of Oregon as a whole, it becomes a bit scary if Solace is left on side, because you're almost guaranteed to have that player below on the top floor site.
Yeah, another scary thing is the current loading time of this match, which is taking incredibly long. I believe I just heard it was like about a 1.5 minute loading screen. So it should end fairly soon, but also one of the players apparently leaving the squad. Not the game, but the squad. Are we having like some Ubisoft server issues or what exactly is going on here? Well,
Attackers
at
need
least
to
finally
locate
the
and
game
defuse
Oregon
bombs.
decides to pop in and show up. So hopefully this game can be played without any further issues. I mean, every player seems to be moving, so I guess everything is fine for now. So hopefully we can now have a beautiful match here with Team Orange, which is Sevens Esports, starting as a defending team, with Wii Sports and as the attacking team as Team Blue.
Indeed. We are going to be just seeing the site set up as it unfolds right now. A bit of the attacker repick is going to actually come into account here, as we are seeing them change up for this basement push, deciding against the Ram in favor of bringing along the Habana for hatches, the Flores for the blue push, alongside the Thatcher, who I doubt is going to be spending too much time around blue, but definitely could, depending on the way they decide to play. And then they've got this gridlock and Ash as well. The Ash mainly for entry, and the gridlock for entry / also that flank denial. Because of obviously bringing those frag grenades, you're gonna want to use her vertically, or in this case, you're gonna want to use it to clear out positions.
Yeah, with the attackers making their way towards the building, we can see Mai like just waiting on top of those backstage stairs, on top of the backstage stairs, being approached by various attackers. So you will get things will get very hot for him very soon. But also here, the Torn seeing the first player approaching from the blue tunnel from construction, getting very close to the person, barely missing each other. But this way, the attackers are just trying to work their way in. I believe there's also still one defender at least on the top floor, so quite a bit of Roma presence, nicely spread out, and they should waste a lot of time for the attacking team to take care of those before they can actually start focusing on the bomb site itself.
Exactly, and now we're going to be seeing a lot of drone work come through. They've spent a good minute and a half of the round just droning, and I'm not sure if Ash actually heard this Mozzie hanging around on the stairs, and it looks like she's seen him at this point, so we are going to be seeing an engagement between those two at some point, potentially even a flood onto the site before Mozzie is even able to make an impact. He is going to be rotating himself over towards White Stairs, and Ash is still on those drones a minute 30 into the round, and I mean, that's not something you see often, an Ash droning this hard.
It's something that you don't see too often, but hey, if it works, it's fine. For now, attackers are getting closer, and actually, the first kill does finally come out. Fast getting a kill on Maxine, taking care of the Mozzie who was roaming and being a disturbance for the attacking team. But as Duet and also gets a kill on Xerox, it's now 5 versus 3, which soon could even decrease as the player is currently playing there on the white stairs, following back right now through the freezer as he knew that it was getting too dangerous for him. And then Crack with a kill there, but taken care of by Weedy. Brings us to 5 versus 2. 5 versus 1 is fast fun to kill on Scrim, and then suddenly Duet with a kill there on Grim brings us to a flawless first round for the side of Wii Sports.
A flawless round, pushing the basement site with an alternative setup. That's crazy. The fact that they were able to bring such a gimmicky sort of altered setup and then still lost to a flawless round is kind of scary as a defender. You really want to be trying to like get these like early wins, especially on a map like Oregon, especially when you're going to that defense on basement first. And obviously this time around they're deciding to play it a little differently. More than likely going to have that mirror watching freezer, which is a bit of a mistake in my opinion, considering that's not where they pushed. I think realistically, applying a bit more presence to the areas that were controlled by the attackers. For example, maybe having half of the wall reinforced towards stage, which is something that I have seen teams do, or even just placing the mirror on the soft wall, crouch height on the stage wall. Because if you're able to, even with it open, if you're able to use it to isolate a player, maybe isolate a pick, it can be a very good gimmick strat. And we, at the moment, do see them struggling a lot with that hatch presence, as we did see in round 1.
Yeah, indeed. And with the second round now starting, it's yet another round here for the side of Wii Sports, who seem to be so convincingly on that first round, as it was a flawless one. The members of Sevens are now getting a second chance to defend the same bomb site once more again, hopefully with the right kind of adjustments and the right kind of countermeasures to actually hold back Wii Sports a little bit better and potentially win the round this time around. But for now, Wii Sports is making a quick entry again, and I don't see too much resistance so far.
Yeah, this time no roamers. It's a full bunker setup. They're just going to be sitting still, trying to play their positions, trying to play their man count, and see if they can come out of this round with a win because of it. More than likely, they're going to be playing their angles, playing their swings where possible, and just seeing if they can find this win based on gun skill and positioning alone.
Indeed. Meanwhile, the attackers were already inside of the building, already making good work of making the defensive setup even weaker and making it easier for them to penetrate the defensive lines. As hatches are now starting to be opened up, the utilities being dealt with, and this way they will make it more difficult for the defenders to play on site. They do notice that some of the hatches have been opened up for potential roaming situations, but as we can see with, of course, our observer seeing the lineouts of the players, we can see that every single defender is currently playing downstairs, and there's nothing for Wesports to be scared of.
Yeah, and now we're seeing a bit of pressure getting applied to that site. Well, Mai's taking a little bit of damage, and Hibana's really wanting to try and pressure out this Jaeger just to see if she can actually get Maxime just away from that pillar door in order to be able to maybe get some presence in through blue. And it looks like the Flores drone is going to be taking care of that bulletproof cam, but is he quite aware of the Jaeger that's made his way through? We aren't sure just yet, but he is now, as he's going to have to force him out of position to get him to run away. And this could be a bit scary for this Jaeger now. The Hibana horse being opened above him. The Flores looking like he wants to try and take the engagement. He does win it out, and Maxime going to be in a much better position because of it. The Hibana takes the swing, finds that kill on a triple kill for Husky. It does fall, but it is going to be that 2v2 instead.
Yeah, 30 seconds remaining. Two attackers getting very close to the bomb site itself, but both of the defense have been pushed back all the way here to Laundry. Kind of a tough situation from where they cannot counter the B-bomb too well. If the attackers make it in and get the diffuser down, there's not really a lot of things that the defenders can do to stop it. They don't have any C4 whatsoever, and as the diffuser is going down, Afla is going for the cover, and in the end, the diffuser goes down successfully. Is a Scrimmer the kill there on Duet, but Afla with the kill on Xerox. It's a 1v1 between these two players. Afla being very low on HP, and he just needs to stall time enough as much as he can. He still has some utility remaining to disturb the defender even further, but with Mira getting very close to the Gridlock, and Gridlock making loads of noise. She knows where she is. She finds the kill, gets a triple kill for the round, and with plenty of time remaining to defuse the diffuser, she will secure the round for the team and put the score on equal 1-1.
Well, I, even in a position of a win, would be very disappointed with the way that round went as a defender. The fact that they were able to go for essentially the same push and it still ended in a 2v1 clutch is actually quite scary when it comes to how the remainder of this game is going to go. They're bringing along the knock on the attacking side. They're very comfortable in their engagements. They want to be able to try and take more of them. So bringing along the knock means they can avoid all the cameras. They've got the Flores on side to deal with the utility, and they're just going to be playing the same way they have on this basement side so far. They've managed to isolate every single player at least once in the 2 rounds that have been played, and only one of the players on the defensive side has actually really proved their worth. And I think this is something that we're going to have to see more of out of the rest of the team on the defensive side if we're going to see them come out of this match with a win.
Yeah, indeed, a different bomb site, however, does provide some new opportunities here for either side. It's new playground, even though, of course, it's a very common map to be played, but yet it's still some new playground, which will take some adjusting and will provide some new opportunities. We will now see Team 70 Esports here going for the defense, their 3rd round in total, and either they or their opponent will take the lead for this 3rd round.
Yeah, I think whoever is able to take the lead in this round really indicates where this half is going to go. And I think there's like 2 options right now. Well, there is always 2 options. There's attack or defense. But we are going to be seeing a very aggressive stance come out of the attacking side. And I think that if the attacking side do try and play this like gunfight sort of scenario that they seem to be trying to go for, they're probably going to come out of this with a win. And a very easy one at that. But Maxime is able to find Weedy very early on that trophy door, by the looks of things, as he does take the shotgun engagement. Another one comes through for him as Afla tries to take that fight as well. He gets one with the SMG-11 onto the bedroom door, and Maxime's on for an ace here if he's able to isolate the last 2 of these players. The knock still unknown by the defenders, the positioning unaware, but they do manage to find the Ash. And now the nades from below, the verticality from the knock is going to be coming into fruition, but as she's not able to find anything, she's just going to be getting pushed by Maxime on this bottom floor. Or Scrim, sorry. It was Maxime playing the Jaeger last time.
Yeah, she's being hunted from so many different angles, and of course, it's not going to end well for her. Jaeger gets a second kill for the round, and therefore, again, a flawless round this time. However, this time for Sevens Esports, who now have secured the lead with a 1-2 score. What a round compared to the first one that we have seen from Sevens Esports.
Yeah, very, very big confidence coming out of the defensive side that round. And I think that was arguably what really thrusted them into the lead. When it came down to the previous round, obviously it was a bit of a struggle. Yes, it was a clutch, but I think it may have been just enough to give them a bit of confidence, a bit of boost, a bit of "we can do this, boys," to actually bring them back into this game. And I mean, so far, that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, it's really like winning that one round, like winning that second round really helps them to get the right kind of momentum and the confidence to do better. And they have been doing way better in the third round. And when they're now going to the fourth round, they do need to go to a bomb site that might not be the most favorite one, but they do need to go there anyway. And they have decided to go, understandably, for Meeting Kitchen, which is the most chosen bomb site in this case as a third one. But this also provides an opportunity for Wii Sports to secure yet another attacking round, because we have seen how well they can do, even though they have lost 2 rounds in a row now.
I'm shocked we don't see an OSA on side.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's actually an operator we usually see, and especially with the Monty off board as well, you would definitely expect an OSA indeed.
But perhaps this is a bait. We do see 4 impact grenades on the defensive side, more than likely for that reason. And I think that if they're able to throw them off, maybe abuse the utility that they've decided to bring, you could put yourself in a bit more of an advantageous situation. But it looks like we are going to be seeing the Wamai and the Legion both positioned upstairs. And if they do get caught, it could be a very scary situation for the defensive side, because they could be worried about this OSA that just doesn't exist, this placebo effect. As we do see a player creeping up the white stairs. I think it's Ram by the looks of things. Tries to take the engagement against Wamai. Isn't able to find anything. But almost gets her head taken off by the Frost instead. Legion finds one, but runs into another, as Afla is going to be repelling on that armory window. And now we see a bit of aggression coming out of these attackers, wanting to try and make their way forward, shooting out the utility at the bottom of the stairs. Looks like it was a goo mine, but decides to throw down some track stingers to keep herself safe. And now we see him moving over towards this armory door, or this trophy door, sorry, trying to take this engagement. Manages to find the 1 eye, but Maxime finds one more in the meantime, and so does Green. A 2v3.
Yeah, with half of the round now being done, we left with the 2 versus 3 situation in the advantage of the defensive team, who's currently also having the points advantage. But then as Afla gets a kill on Scrim, it's back to 2 versus 2, where they now find themselves in this 2 versus 2 situation with both attackers having top floor control, which could be pretty advantageous, especially with this hatch also being opened up and also still having 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining, which is a load of time for them to work with. They have a Termite still alive who can do loads of damage and open up some of those walls. And as the Termite unfortunately got a little careless while you're just descending the stairs blindly, he got taken out by the Kaid, and now it's all coming down to Afla in this 1 versus situation. Still very much possible, but again, as he has to drop blindly, he gets taken out by Maxime. And it's yet another round going to the side of Sevens Esports, 3 in a row, putting them on a 1-3 score.
I mean, yeah, we see such a strong defensive half so far, after the only round being won by the attack being a flawless round. And it was round number 1 on defense, on a basement defense, coming out with a flawless round straight away, and then just completely stagnating, losing all of their momentum, getting absolutely mullered in the clutch by I think it was Scrims, and then just getting manhandled throughout the rest. It's going incredibly for this defensive side. They are going to be moving back down into the basement and setting up pretty much the same way as they did in round number 2. But this time, obviously having the laundry mirror and maybe even comboing it with that freezer mirror, but I really don't like this freezer mirror with the way that the attacking side play.
Yeah, indeed. And the basements played 2 times, won once, lost once, and Sevens Esports with them being on a 3-round win as well, like a 3-win streak. Momentum is definitely in their favor, but it's the perfect chance for esports to at least secure yet another round, as they did win this bomb site once before, and to throw and destroy this win streak from the side of Sevens Esports. But again, a kind of similar setup. This very shotgun players, probably of which one of them is going to play on those backstairs, throwing the C4 already, but unfortunately not hitting the target and getting damage in the process. But that's definitely going to be one of a tricky one to get to take care of.
This is a really weird decision. Obviously, you probably could have heard him run away, but I'm very afraid of just walking in like that, not paying any attention at all to the stairs that the man just crept up. But obviously, it looks like we have the Hibana on side to keep that defended. The Flores drone did get jammed by the camera while it was still open, which means it doesn't close. Something a lot of people don't realize, if a Flores drone is already in the middle of closing or is closed and then gets jammed, it doesn't reopen. But if it gets jammed while it's already open, it doesn't close. So what you saw the Jaeger do there was you saw him jam the Flores drone before it closed, before Flores actually did anything with it. Then he peeked the door, shot the Flores drone. It's gone. It's not going to explode. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize, that little intricate sort of design that is just the way the Flores drones work.
Interesting. Well, with only 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining, there's still 5 attacks remaining versus 4 defenders, and the execute will happen anytime soon. Loads of utility coming out, the drops happening. Maxime with a kill there on Duet, but Afra with a kill there on Grim, and also the Gridlock losing her life, unfortunately. It's now 3 versus 4 Eagle Manco, where Maxime creates an advantage for the team, but Awidi immediately with the refract, bringing us to a 2 versus 2 with 50 seconds remaining. Fast is right around the corner, waiting for the K to make a mistake and expose himself a little too much, but unfortunately, the Mira getting taken care of. Only getting a kill there on Fast, bringing us to a 1 versus 1.
We're in a 1v2 again.
That's because they know where they are. They have an idea where they are. Scrims gets damaged incredibly a lot. They're by the side of the Flores, but Flores does have a bit of time. He uses his drones to just create a bit of distraction, gather information as well, and hopefully this way he can secure enough information to potentially take out the Mira eventually.
Scrims in a 1v2 again, though. We do see him over towards that blue side on the Flores, trying to make his way through his Weedy, but Scrims has already made his way over towards Pillar. He's got himself a much better position, and he's gonna be forcing this player to go for the plant now. He's gonna be rotating himself back over towards this blue door. He knows he's being chased. He's got the prone. He's not able to find the kill, and that's gonna be Scrims winning out a second clutch on this basement site.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Okay, so apparently we're going to have a little rehost due to a protest, unfortunately, here. I'm not entirely sure what has been going on. I guess it has to do with some forbidden skins or something, because of course those rules are still in play. And it's something to take care of, and always to consider that you turn off your skins before you play, or just never turn off skins at all. But yeah, this causes us to just have a little bit of a disturbance here for this match, and that we will need to potentially even replay rounds if necessary. But the score right now was Nash 1-4.
Yeah, 1-4.
1-4. Okay. Well, if net the protest is valid, it might become a 1-3 then. We will see. But for now, it's clearly showing that Sevens Esport, even though they might have used forbidden skins in this case, are playing very, very well.
Also, just a quick PSA for anybody that hasn't quite realised, as Army Elite just dropped. So go cop that, because I know I did. The game itself, though, like we're seeing a 1-4 scoreline in favor of the defense, which is something that's completely natural. It's something that realistically should be happening, and it's something we should have seen in the last game. But the defensive adaptability and just the ability of scrims in general. I think scrims, that like the player, not the actual like activity. He's the reason you've got 2 rounds right now. 2 of the rounds you've got on that defensive side are because of that one player. Because there has been 2 rounds now on that basement site where he has been in a 1v2 clutch and he's won both.
Yeah, indeed. And by the way, right now, getting the confirmation that it's indeed going to be a round replay in this case. So we're going to be going back to 1-3 score, and we're going to play the basement again with the same operator lineup. I think that's the way the rules work. So yeah, we will see another basement defense, which went very well for the side of 7S Esports. But maybe Wii Sports this time can be a bit more successful. Like they got yet another taste. This was the third time we have been seeing the bomb side. We will now see it for a fourth time. Maybe Wii Sports has now collected enough information, and especially with this kind of technical timeout that they're getting right now, maybe they will be able to counter a little bit better. I mean, they got pretty close. It was a very close run towards the end.
I mean, yeah, it did. Like I said, as much as it was close. It's insane that we have 2 rounds going the way of 2 rounds going the way of the defense on the side of sevens that you just did not expect. Like 2 1v2 clutches, Scrims has won them both. Then you've got the other sites that they won are the first floor site, pretty dominantly.
Yeah.
And then also the top floor site, which they won with a flawless round.
Yeah.
And now you're looking at a team that was able to get a flawless round in round 1 completely fall apart in the next 4 rounds. And now they've got to go into round number 6, 4-1 down, and try and secure that second round for themselves in order to give themselves an average scoreline going into their half on the defense.
Yeah. It's a 3-1 though. 3-1. As the match is the round.
3-1.
Yes, the round's being replayed for that reason. Yeah.
Right. So who was it that was cheating?
I mean, cheating. Like it's a big word. Like probably just forgetting to turn off the skins, which can happen.
Yeah, no, that's a joke.
Yeah,
but who was?
But
cheating?
it was Wii Sports. Wii Sports.
It was Wii Sports.
No, sorry. No. Excuse me. Wii Sports is the one protesting against the fault of Sevens Esports. Yes, that's also why Sevens is losing 1 round in this case.
Was it Mirror?
There was an Ash Elite skin. I read something about an Ash Elite skin and Jaeger and Mira. No, Jaeger Elite, Mira Elite. Yeah. Yeah, those are the ones. Jaeger and Mira Elite.
And they were still like wearing the stuff.
Yes, which they're not allowed to. There's just like a very limited selection of skins, just like in the highest tiers of Pro League and everything. Like the rules are the same, and those need to be followed. And I mean, yeah, if you don't, then your opponent has the right to make a protest. Like there's no shame on
I'm
that.
going to be honest. I know like Pro League and team skins are allowed.
Yeah,
but I genuinely thought Elite skins would have been allowed too.
No, unfortunately not. Elite skins are not allowed.
I don't know too much about like the intricacies of the rules, but I don't need to. So
I think it's really Pro League skins, and that's about it. I think.
Yeah, I know Pro League and esports are fine. Yeah, I know that for a fact.
I think drone skins are still fine though. I think drone skins is no big problem, but for example, already like gadget skin can also be a problem. I think
drone skins not being a problem is a bit of like an issue.
Yeah, the amount of drone skins available is increasing significantly. Like each season, like another part of battle passes. I think they're part of alpha packs or something, right?
Yeah, but like a little strategy that I've been seeing a few people use. Like there's a lot of people that like just use skins for the sake of skins. Yeah. But there's a chunk of people that are all sweaty tryhards, and I'm one of those people. But you will basically run on a map like Chalet, for example. Yeah. You got those little plant pot things that go through the blue corridor on the top floor.
Okay.
You just run a green drone skin and just stick it in a bush.
Yeah.
And no one finds it.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, that's also what camels are made for, right? They're made to camouflage. But yeah, it was something that at one point was decided, like especially by Ubisoft and also some competition. Just skins can be too strong, Ember Rise being one of them. And Ubisoft did actually try to fix it. Like remember there was like this one update where they like a little bit of an outline, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough to really fix the issue, and that's why we're still stuck with these kind of rules. Unfortunately, I would love to see those kind of rules go because I think skins do add something to the game. But at the same time, yeah, Ubisoft just make the Pro League setting turn off skins automatically. That's my one request from Ubisoft. Pro League settings in custom game automatically turns off skins. That would be so good.
Yeah, very true, to be fair. I actually agree with that. Turns off anything illegal. We are going to be seeing them go back to this basement defense. Looks like Scrims is going to be back on that mirror, which is completely understandable. Why would you not? He's absolutely phenomenal on that operator so far. But we are seeing generally just the same stuff. Not really a lot changing. I don't think they're allowed to change
No,
much.
the lineup needs to stay exactly the same. So the operators need to stay the same. The bomb site needs to stay
Yeah.
the same. Gadgets, utility, everything I think needs to stay the same.
5 seconds left.
Of course, like the way they set up. Of course, that can still change. That's one thing I think they're still freely allowed to change.
For anyone wondering, because we didn't cover it, the vote for these teams is 100% in favor of Wii Sports.
And how many people voted?
I don't know, but I know I did.
Isn't it written below there, like on the match page?
4 votes.
Wow. Okay, well, that's also a nice moment to do a request to our viewers then. Create an OPL account, and under every tweet we post, you will find the links to the matches, but also on Wikipedia, you can find the links to the OPL matches, or of course on OPL itself. And please cast some votes. I would really love to see what the community is expecting of these matches, so we can actually talk about it a little bit more. Because of course, 4 votes isn't the most reliable source of information. So please, viewers, start voting on OPL.
Yeah, I do agree. If you're able to, obviously, it's completely free. It's completely free to make an OPL account, so you can just slam that stuff on there. But Aflo are going to be falling very weak in this round so far, and that gives a little bit of an advantage to the defenders based on health, considering there's no Thinker on side, and we are going to be seeing exactly what I was talking about with the last guy that was standing around here on those stairs. Flash him out. Get him to move out of position and play yours. You managed to find a kill through the hatch, and now you're going to be seeing these players just try and get themselves down further and further towards this site entrance. You've got a player moving down those white stairs. You've got a player moving down laundry stairs. More than likely, we're going to have players on the tower side also, and potentially one still outside of blue, but it looks like not so much.
Attack.
Yeah, with just 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining, the attackers will start getting very close to the bomb site right now. We can already see Gridlock on the bottom of those laundry stairs, but another person descending the freezer stairs as we speak. But agreeing with a beautiful headshot there on Hiskey, getting one more kill for the team, bringing us to a 4 versus 4. But then one player gets a kill on Duet, Afla gets a kill on that same player. A refrag is happening in the case, and now we are left with a 3 versus 3 with 45 seconds.
Indeed, we are. We see another player making their way down those freezer stairs, and the last one of the 3 going to be rotating somewhere else. No one going to be playing on this laundry side anymore, and Gridlock going to be very close to some holes in the wall. If she isn't swung, she could be in a very good position, but if she is, she could be very scared. A 1v2 clutch once again for Scrims, finds 1 as his teammate is down, and is now going to be trying to find the last.
I was waiting for the Grim drone kill to happen, but that's not happening, and she finishes with a gun. It's a 1 versus 1 situation with just 10 seconds. The attackers need to be extremely careful in this situation, but in the end, it's the attacking side fast securing that final kill for his team. And finally, after technically losing 4 rounds in a row, but after the reuse, of course, 3 rounds in a row, it's finally Wii Sports securing another point. And I mean, yeah, the protest did pay off in this case, and now find themselves on a 2-3 score.
Indeed it did, but it is wild, absolute insanity that 3 times they have played this basement site. Or, well, 4 times they've played this basement site. Once they lost flawless round. Twice has been twice has been Scrims winning 1v2 clutches.
Oh yeah.
And once has been Scrims losing a 1v2 clutch. Why does this man keep ending up in clutches? Why are we over swinging on the side of 7s?
Like, it has to do with the operator and the role he's playing, of course, in the team. Like, he's meant to stay alive a little bit longer than the rest, but still, like, there's so many other players who are finding themselves in a similar kind of position, and yeah, they just die too soon. And that indeed could be because due to overswinging, like you're saying.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, it's crazy because I mean, as much as yes, the
Attackers are moving out to locate
mirror
a bomb and
bystander
defuse
does have more fortification than a few of these other operators. The thing that's insane to me is the fact that we're still taking swings in front of these mirrors. You saw last round that like Hibana managed to get the kill on Mute inside of Freezer, whereas Mute, instead of pruning there, could have ran past the hatch because Hibana doesn't have an angle, tried to get through back towards that rotate that is in the Freezer wall, and then stuck behind the mirror. And there you go. You've got a much more formidable position. You're able to play it close with a shotgun because no one's able to swing it from wide, and you win.
Yeah. Yeah, and then with Grim getting that first opening kill already on Weedy, spawn peak, it seems to be. It's the Froze already losing his life very early on, which is definitely going to be a little bit of hurting the attack of Wii Sports a little bit. But then Grim did take quite a bit of damage, but will still be able to play on for this rounds. We can also see Xerxes playing on the fridge, just waiting for any attacker to expose himself while watching under the barricade. But for now, the attackers are just trying to make their entry. With the Kate also trying to trick this hedge. This could definitely be a nice little surprise here for the attacking side, which could waste some of their utility.
He does have a player watching his Freezer stairs, though. As he does fall, now he's going to have to try and make his way out of that position, because realistically, if Cade stays here, it could be a very big problem for his life. He does fall off, make his way back over towards the boxes / lockers side of Freezer, and he's just going to be hanging around there by the looks of things. The mute jam has been dealt with at the bottom of the Freezer stairs, so they are just making their way through with drones. Camera gets shot. As there was a man on it, they are going to be aware of the positioning of this player. And it looks like Wilmoy really wants to take this engagement. Thesk manages to find the kill onto Green, who got the opening kill of the round. And now we're going to be seeing this 3v3 situation spiral a little bit for the defensive side.
Yeah, indeed. But it's 3 versus 3 and just 1 minute remaining as E4 is being thrown, but not finding any target. And it's very aggressively coming around the corner and barely getting punished for it. However, after losing quite a bit of HP, but then Hibana going to use her utility, open up the wall towards the laundry wall to just have a nice little angle and entry point. But I believe the guy just threw his electric card to defend the mirror window and defend the position of the mirror to strengthen it, which significantly increases the chances for the defensive side. 35 seconds remaining, and it's still 3 versus 3.
35 seconds remaining, a 3 versus 3, and the attackers are flashing themselves. We need to be more careful here, boys.
Yeah, with just 20 seconds remaining, the attackers now need to make their move. They cannot wait any longer because the time is precious. Fast makes good work of it by taking out Crack, brings himself to a 3 versus 2 situation. With 10 seconds remaining, they need to find a kill. C4 comes out from Scrim, gets a kill. Also, Ibala gets taken care of, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Once again, Scrim in this 1 versus 1 situation. A quad kill came out from Fast. Will he be able to secure the ace? No, he doesn't. It's yet again Scrim clutching out, winning a round for the team, and putting the score in this case on 2-4.
Every single basement defense win has been a clutch from scrims.
Yeah. Yes.
This man's going to have heart failure by the time this game ends. We already see an Azami Elite in-game. I love that.
Wait, did we?
Yeah,
Protect your
Oh, just the card, I hope, right?
Duet had the player card, yeah. Duet had the player card.
I hope it's just the player card in that case. Otherwise, we might get another. And actually, there would actually be like a comeback from Flawless 7 to protest for that skin. But I don't think they have enabled the skin, and even that player of the Azami isn't even picked for this round. So even if the elite is turned on, we wouldn't see it for now. But yeah, that will be an interesting story. But yeah, of course, the 6th round has passed by. We now have seen the roll sub. So for now, for the first time, it's Wii Sports here on the defense and Sevens on the offense. And now everything has switched around. Things might also go very differently.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
I mean, yeah, we are going to be seeing at the moment a bit of a widespread sort of lineup from the defenders. Only really 2 sort of hovering around on site at the moment, and I think it's just Mute and Mirror that are actually on the site. Everyone else, we've got a player on white, we've got a player in shower corridor, we've also got a player over towards the basement side, but looks like Capcan of Afla does want to try and take an engagement against this player trying to enter through small tower, but the small tower punch on the window is going to be a little bit of a bait as he decides to take the repel instead. They deal with 2 drones, and now we're down by 5 for the attacking side. only, well, technically 7 more in pocket remaining for these players, as now we're going to be seeing them just get a little bit aggressive on the attacking side, get themselves set up for this push, and maybe even try and secure themselves a breach.
Yeah, Fest, who came all the way from the basement, was ascending the laundry stairs, trying to go for a surprise attack on the Ash. Did manage to do a bit of damage, but unfortunately was not able to secure the kill. His position is now somewhat known. They know he's in the basement. They will be trying to find him. We can even see the Twitch like getting ready to cut him off. But as the Wamai is now ascending the backstage stairs, he will now be spotted by the Twitch drone, who just took care of the camera. Twitch is entering. She actually didn't seem to know about the position of the Wamai, but when Wamai is still here in the tower, he's one big turn in the eye, as he can pose a threat any moment later on. Where then Afla also going to kill that on Zeros and took care of that specific Twitch I was talking about.
Indeed, Xerox going down means the defensive side have found the opening pick for the round, but Maxime quick to follow up as he does secure the kill on the door with a nade. And now we're going to be seeing a C4 fly over the trophy wall, does find a kill, and that's going to be perfect for the defensive side, securing themselves a bit more of a presence in this round. But Scrim finds one in return, and that's actually made his way through into the site. 2 players trying to filter their way up these white stairs. Are they going to be able to get themselves up in time? It doesn't actually look like it as of this very moment, considering Scrim, has managed to make his way all the way through to the site, is already getting the plant down, and now we're going to be seeing Scrims take the swing.
So good.
Getting the plant down. It looks like they kept the Ash planting while the Ace took the swings, and he did manage to find both of the kills for himself, so I can't really blame them at all. And that's going to be a round for the side of Sevens. That is insane.
Was it Scrims again on like a triple kill or something for this round? Yeah, he's so good. He's proven to be so damn useful for the team. Even now they have switched to the offensive side, and it's no longer coming down to those clutch situations. And I mean, the team has started to do even better. A 2-5 score, just 1 round away from the match point. And I mean, Sevens Esports just in a very, very good position to win this match pretty soon.
Yeah. At the moment, we're going back down to this basement, and as I said, it's very well defender-sided, and more than likely we could see a bit of a comeback coming from the side of Wii Sports so far. But on the side of Sevens right now, we're at 5-2. We're pretty comfortable whether we win or lose this round, or they're pretty comfortable whether they win or lose this round. But if they do come out of this round with a win,
10 seconds left.
then the side of Wii Sports is, well, weeing their pants. So we're going to have to really see how it goes, but it looks like the attacking side actually want to play this quite aggressive.
Yeah, we're actually seeing a very aggressive attackers coming out. The Blitz is just one of the missing ones in these kind of situations, but with them already entering very quickly, you can see Maxime entering from the top floor, of course, but the bomb site is not located at the moment, but it's just still a nice position to enter from, as he can locate himself to any other position fairly early on, and is just looking to potentially pick up a nice opening kill for any unaware defender roaming around.
Indeed, just throwing out that drone, seeing if he can find anything at all around the top floor. And I think there's 2 things we have to look out for in this round from the attackers in particular. And first thing, knock. Second thing, just the Twitch drones. Because if Twitch is, or Xerox, I guess, is able to get himself in a good enough position to be able to get these Twitch drones onto the mirror windows, we could be seeing a very different round. In win rate for the attackers. They could actually be able to come out of this with a relatively confident win.
However, the mute there, yeah, the mute.
The nade.
Ah, the Wamaitis though, potentially saving the life here, while cooking is still a feature in this game. The mute in a very strong position. We have seen it countless time before, but this time the nade cooks perfectly, comes right in and hits the target perfectly, takes out the mute, and this is how you take freezer stairs, ladies and gentlemen. Where in the first match the teams were struggling so much to do it, it's being shown here and demonstrated perfectly how to do it. Now a 3 versus 4 situation with another defender being contested quite heavily there in freezer. The attackers are getting very close, with Grim already ascending those freezer stairs and getting closer and closer to the bomb site, where everything will end up at the end of the round.
Yeah, very nice positioning from these players on the defense right now. We do see Tachanka watching over towards Freezer alongside Wamai, who has that shield on side for this, deciding to play aggressive anyway, which is a little bit of a throw. First, you should get behind your shield. Alongside that, we also have the Cade watching onto those laundry stairs, just seeing if he can find anything. Almost a beautiful shot from Fest there as he does take the swing, but isn't able to find the man. And we're just going to be seeing them open the hatch on the attacking side. The Hibana going to be wanting to take this drop. She throws down a flashbang, isn't able to actually flash anyone out. More Shumikas coming out towards that laundry side. Just to keep these attackers at bay right now, as they are just going to be trying to take any swing possible. Twitch goes down inside of Freezer, and now they're going to be opting to position more players over that side in order to try and secure that res. The Habana takes a swing, manages to find a kill for herself. The Knock takes one as well, but ends up falling a triple kill for Fest. And a beautiful 180 onto the cracked player on the backside. And that was, what, a 3-4K?
At least 3, at least.
3 if he didn't get the down. 4 if he did. I don't think he got the down though, so I think it was a 3K. But that was pretty beautiful from him. And yeah, there's not really a lot else to say. We now see a bit of a comeback on the cards for the side of Wii Sports.
Yeah, indeed, a 3-5 score. It's Wii Sports just getting a little closer, closing in the gap a little bit, increasing the chances. Of course, there's still 2 rounds behind your opponent, 7S, who's been doing incredibly well for this match so far. But just getting that 1 round just increases the chances for a potential comeback a little bit more, which is still totally doable for Wii Sports.
Seconds to go.
Well, on the defensive side, I think we're going to have to be seeing a bit more coming out of them, because at the moment, I mean, it's a one-man show. I think when it comes down to the attacking side, it's a bit more even spread. Obviously, Xerox still needs to get his footing once again after the rehost we had, but Crack has managed to find one on the opening frag, and I'm not sure quite where that was, but as he does manage to secure that kill for himself, it is going to be very, very good. You're going to be pushing into this top floor. There's only one less defender to worry about, and the defender that you've taken out is Mozzie, one of those players that does have very active utility, one that we are able to actually see. As much as he is dead, you are still able to look through the drones, but unable to move them anymore. They're no longer mobile for these attackers, so they are able to deal with them quite quickly and effectively.
Indeed, and with a 4 versus 5, we now have passed the first minute of this game. Still 2 minutes to go, and a lot of work to be done for the attacking team. They do have the man advantage, which is certainly workable. And also Walls starting to be opened up, and also Maverick doing his work to open up Attic. The attackers will soon start surrounding the defensive team and make things very difficult. However, with the Valkyrie, I was about to say, an Echo play, things might still get difficult, but as a nade was perfectly good. Once more, Maxime takes out the Valkyrie and makes things a little bit easier. But then Fast with the kill on Grim brings us to a 3-4.
Vesk is so aggressive right now. He's just walking in. The pre-fire onto the trophy door would have been really good if he actually could, shoot through hard walls, but can't. So now we're going to be seeing a bit of a stagnation from him. He's backed himself off. He's trying to watch that attic drop, but isn't able to actually see the player that is getting aggressive through there. Crack going to be popping a couple of these things on the defensive side and just trying to take them out, but now we're going to be seeing a bit of aggression come out of these attackers. One falls, Crack goes down, and now we're going to be seeing Xerox. He manages to get his first on the round, first in the game since the rehost, finds a second, and now we're going to be seeing the plant go down as this player of Husky is going to be trying to get aggressive. Does manage to see the planter and does find the kill for himself. He's got his shotgun in hand, but can't find the player that he's looking for right now. The attacker takes the diffuser, tries to potentially take the swing, but baits him out just enough in order to be able to actually get the kill from the player that swings out from behind the bookshelf. And that's going to be another round for this attacking side, putting us on match point for them now.
And the match point here for Sevens Esports, a perfect position for them to be in double the amount of points of their opponents, meaning they now get 3 rounds three chances basically to end this match in their favor. The other side, of course, for Wii Sports, that means they need to win 3 rounds in a row to bring this match to a 6-6 to overtime and have a chance to still be victorious. But that is going to be a very difficult difficult task for them. And especially if they now need to go to a more difficult bomb side, they have decided, however, to go for kitchen dining, one that we don't see too often, but it seems to be a well thought choice, or at least a what is it, like a like they chosen it for a potentially a good reason, and it makes me very curious to see what Wii Sports has in store for us here.
Indeed, 6-3 right now on the board. As we discussed earlier, we are going to be seeing a first floor site come out of this defense, and it's not something you'd expect, especially when your 12-3 player is deciding to bring along a UMP instead of anything a bit stronger. We do see your roaming player of Afla on the board at 3-5. Yes, was doing well before the rehost, but still going to be on that sort of flank type role, not exactly, depending on the way you play it, but realistically, just on that very aggressive, like solo roam sort of play style. Jaeger takes a swing onto the window. Weedy manages to find the opening pick onto Maxime, but Thermite isn't going to be able to get the refrag because he was already on drones, and now he just decides to commit to it and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if the player only knew there was a second player around the corner, like staying on the cams is quite dangerous in that situation. If the Jaeger would have known, he could have just jumped out and get a second skill for himself. But yeah, luckily for the Termite, he did manage to stay alive. But we cannot say the same thing about Crack, who is now getting taken care of by the Jaeger. The Fesk with yet another kill, and suddenly everything is falling apart for Sevens this round. Only 2 members remaining, Grim and Xerox versus 5 defensive players. This is going to be a very tough challenge for them to win out, especially with Xerox dying.
Yeah, now we leave Greem all alone, and more than likely going to be trying to save his life here, or run the round quickly, depending on the way he decides to play it. If he's able to preserve his life for as long as possible, he is going to be able to actually, he is going to be able to actually talk this through with his team, decide what they want to do next, because they know it's not going to be a first floor site once again. It is a flawless round from the defenders, and I mean, I like the way it was played by the defenders, but realistically, you've got to translate that into a top floor / basement hold in one of these next rounds, because you can't go to this first floor site again after winning it.
Yeah, indeed. And I believe we're now getting about a 30-second pause here again to fix those hand cams, like I've explained before, that they're very important to make sure this match is being played fair and square.
Naughty boys. Naughty boys, we're breaking the law again.
Yeah, I mean, it always happen. Like, it can always happen, like batteries dying of the phones, connection being lost. But then in these cases, we do pause the games to give the players a chance to rejoin those hand cams so we can continue the game like in a fair and square manner. Luckily, this time it should only be 30 seconds, so about 15 seconds to go. So we do have a short break, but a 4-6 score. 2 rounds is what's needed for Wii Sports to make the win still possible, to bring this match to overtime. The first overtime of Stage 2, where the members of Sevens Esports still have 2 chances to win 1 round out of them, and to then still secure the win for this map.
Oh, as we see, this basement site once again, it has, if I remember correctly, been quite close between these 2 teams on this side.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be like, well, I think this could be a real nail biter. If we see the side of Sevens actually manage to secure themselves an opening pick, maybe even get themselves some good positioning early on in the round, we could definitely see a very like aggressive take. But it's a blue rush, man. It's just a blue rush.
Oh,
it's
yes.
a blue rush.
Yeah, you're talking about the operator lineups. Yeah, it's kind of giving it away. Of course, we can see it. The defenders cannot see it yet unless they will be watching cameras early on. But this doesn't stop too much good. And we can see various plays far offside. This might be disastrous for Wii Sports.
This is it. Game's over. They send 5. They send 5 in through blue right now. If this mirror dies, the game's done.
Yeah, everyone's offside.
Every single player is offsite, apart from this mirror that's hanging around pillar right now. And she doesn't even realize that the blitz is right behind her.
Yeah, the fuses are already going down. Zaber's on the plane, probably being covered quite well. And that the defenders just need to retake their own bomb site. They have completely lost control over their own bomb site and now kind of stepped in the footsteps of the attacking team. They need to attack their own bomb site and they're losing it. It's a 2.
The defenders have become the attackers.
Yeah, defenders have become attackers and they lost. They lost.
This is I knew it was over from the very beginning. You've
Yeah.
got 2 players on site and they're performing a blue rush. They're just gonna get everybody in, man. They're getting everybody in that site, and you're just gonna get ruined because you've got 2 people remaining on site. One of them left to go play stairs, and you've only got a mirror playing around pillar. You lose that man, and the game's done. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's such an inconvenient situation there for Wii Sports, of course, because like, yes, they could have somewhat anticipated it and they should be somewhat prepared for it, but it's just a perfect combination of 2 things. Like so many people off sides, and then so many players like ready for a rush. That's just like a perfect combination there for Sevens Esports to win this round in a beautiful way.
Oh, coming up, we have Tracker Clan versus AGM. But before then, we are just going to be going to a short break. That was a phenomenal game.
It was.
And I think we all need to quickly get ourselves some refreshments, take a breather, maybe pay some virgins to skim through the VODs and find us some clips, you know. Like me, for example. I'll probably end up doing that if I'm real.
Well, we'll see you guys in about 5 minutes.
See
Don't
you
go
in
too
5
far,
minutes.
and we'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone. After a short break, we're back with the final match for today, which is going to be Tracker versus AGM. Of course, we had 2 matches before this, which was, I forgot the name again for that one. Do you remember, Nash? The first team name?
It's AGM versus Tracker.
No, the first match of the day. It was
the first match. It was Cosma.
Gaming. Yeah, Cosma Gaming versus MDF. Then it was a 2-7 score. We had Wii Sports versus the team with the logo, which is 7Z Sports with a 4-7 score. And now the final match of the day. Let's just quickly take a look at the map bands before we jump into the game, because I believe the game is pretty much ready to go. And well, I'm happy. It's not Oregon. We're finally going to see a different map here for today, and it's Café Dostoevsky, a map we don't tend to see too often. It's kind of like in the middle range of picks, so it's nice to get something different.
It is. It's very nice to be able to cast multiple maps throughout the map pool. As much as I said, I do like Oregon based on how utility based it is and things like that. But yeah, so we'll as we've already discussed, we're going to be going to Cafe, and I just think that it's going to be one of those where it's very back and forth. I think this is truly the game where we see a bit more of a presence from these roamers, because at the moment we haven't seen much presence from roaming operators. We've seen a bit of presence inside of the freezer, but it's relatively close to site, and you can't really imagine that it is entirely defender plays. So with the the map being Cafe that we're going to, it's one of those maps where the roam presence is very effective. The vertical pressure is very effective. It's very difficult to do a horizontal push unless they're playing on that first floor site. And we'll just have to see how they adapt on the attacking side of Tracker Clan.
Yeah, Café Dostoevsky, very different map compared to Oregon. And after a quick tour over the map, we will soon start with the operator bands, which, I mean, again, Nash, you can do it. You're just way better at those, like I like to say. And well, tell us what these operator bands mean, and tell us which ones you're expecting.
Well, I mean, the defender bands are fairly narrow. Realistically, you see Azami, Fenrir, and Solis again, but I think Azami is much more valuable than Fenrir on the defense. But on the attack, you don't really see Thatcher. More than likely, we're going to see something a bit more roam based. And as just before I said so, we see the Jackal go off, and more than likely, we're going to see the same thing again. It's going to be something along the lines of like a Lion, maybe something for vertical pressure, like a Ram going off the board. Unless there's a target ban, I think it's probably Ram or Doki. But instead, we see Knock for Intel Denial once again. One of those operator bans that's kind of been a bit stagnant since she was nerfed a little bit. And I think that, well, she's not as valuable of a ban as she used to be, but still can be quite effective. We do see the Solace go off the board. More than likely, the second one going to be that Fenrir or the Azami. I think the Azami is more valuable on this map in particular. So I think the Defender bans will realistically just kind of reflect that.
Yeah, Azami will be my guess as well for this final ban, but we'll see. Maybe the team has different plans, and it's a Valkyrie. I mean, Valkyrie, sure, why not? Like, Valkyrie is a good operator, lots of verticality, lots of soft floors. It's a big map, so it's nice to have some overview. And yeah, Valkyrie does make some sense here.
I think that a lot of people don't really take into account as well is think like year 4, year 5, year 6, right? Valkyrie was one of the most powerful operators in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Valkyrie was the operator that people didn't really like playing against. The operator that really created a disruption for a lot of these attacking sides. And she's kind of flown under the radar since you've had, like, Azami, Solace, Fenrir kind of be introduced. And I think that that's something teams are kind of trying to rectify now and actually take advantage of, because they're realizing that she is so powerful once again.
Yeah, you know, like talking about post features, like post trends within the game, you know what I'm actually very excited for is like the upcoming things, like in about 2 weeks from now, coming to Siege will be like the vulnerability coming to mirror windows, like the Black Mirrors, and the extra evil eye on Maestro. Can expect we'll see a little more Maestro in about 2 weeks from now.
A little more excited for something different.
Which is?
I'm excited for the frag grenade change. Because something that a lot of people haven't really thought about right now is nades are still going to be relatively powerful, considering they have a fuse duration decrease the moment they hit a surface. So vertical nades are still possible with the right little pressure. If you like throw a nade between floorboards and things like that, it's still possible to get a vertical nade off because the fuse time is reduced to 2 seconds after it bounces once.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard to run away from if you get a good vertical nade off. But the reason I'm excited mainly is because it's going to force us back into that utility meta, one of those metas that's much easier to cast, much more methodical, and it's going to really show off the skill level of the strategic side of these teams.
Yeah. Yeah, surely that's a good one. Like, some people don't like the change as it's not very realistic. You can cook nades in real life, and yeah, you should be able to do so. But I also do understand indeed why they've gone for it, and it does indeed also still, has some opportunities.
Something that Ubisoft has spoken about openly is the fact that yes, as much as Rainbow Six Siege was intended to be a it was intended to be a realistic first-person shooter. Since it's become a lot more competitively active, they have drifted away from the realism in order to make the game more fun to play. And we do see the defenders actually managing to find these 2 opening picks, which is going to be very good for them. A beautiful shot from Quake as he manages to secure a little headshot onto that ram that's going to be hovering around pillar side. And now we're going to be seeing Eden get aggressive through this corridor in this 1v5 now as his player gets injured in a flawless round to start us off from the defensive side. And I'd like to say that this is really going to show or tell the tale of the rest of this game, the rest of this defensive half, but you really can't say that after seeing the previous match.
Yeah, and also one thing I wanted to talk about is, of course, the Tracker Clan. Like, as the team name, we know them quite well from previous season. Like, of course, they were here previous season as well. And it's something that you and me spoke about before the stream started. Like, Tracker Clan, like, if we take a look back at the previous season, they were a team that were initially eliminated in the group stages. And because Entropy and Pyra then disbanded, they got a second chance to make it back into the Swiss stage, second stage of the competition. After which they actually made it out all the way to the finals, the 3rd stage. And with Tracker Clan are doing so much better in the groups. In fact, they're actually the number 1 of their group. I think it was Group C, if I'm thinking correctly. But either way, they have been doing so much better through the group stage and now made it into this stage again, of course. I'm having a lot of expectations from this team, and losing the first round like that isn't really meeting my expectations.
Yeah, I do agree. Now, though, we are going to be seeing a bit of a alternative mirror setup coming out of Quake as they do decide to try and use some of their positioning and utility that is on side in order to try and throw off these teams. We do see a IQ who isn't really going to counter much. She is going to be able to see both Pulse and Warden when their gadgets are actually active, but throughout most of the round, neither of them are really going to be doing much. It's mostly for execute denial. And actually, once you get into the building, trying to pressure out a few of these players.
Yeah, I like the pulse from below. He's currently gathering so much information, currently playing here in train, just waiting patiently for attackers to enter upstairs right above him, for where he can do so much damage. But at the same time, there's an IQ right outside, and they know about its position, so the IQ will be a big problem for that pulse. Of course, she can ping the pulse, kind of like a Solus does these days, and this will become a pretty big threat there for the pulse.
At the moment, he is going to be able to... The pulse scanner has some wild range. He is able to scan out that player that is going to be hovering around outside. Doesn't quite notice the thinker on the scanner, and a drone going to be swinging past him to try and spot out his position. He does get a couple shots off onto the thinker, but doesn't quite know about the IQ that's already made her way through, and actually finds the kill onto him. Tracker Clan really making a comeback into this round. They've managed to find 2 so far, but Quake on the return, getting the refrag for his pulse. And now we're going to be seeing them try and bunker up a little bit more on this top floor side.
Now with the 4 versus 3 now continuing, this 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. Attackers are getting closer and closer to the bomb side to potentially score the first point. But this shield here in Freezer will be a big problem. The Wamai right behind it is in the... Oh, sorry, the Wamai. It's the Wamai, it's not the... It's the Warden right behind it in a very strong position to counter the attackers who are trying to get more control over the bomb site with various defenders. Looking at the position, but as Quake then finds a C4 kill there on Eden, it's now a 3 versus 3. Which still make things possible for the defensive side as well, because there's only 40 seconds remaining for the attacking team to win this round potentially, and they need to hurry up because the time does not work in their advantage. Time works in the advantage of the defensive team, who can wait very patiently. And with here, the Gridlock still going downstairs, still going to repel to go upstairs. Is costing a lot of time the attacking team doesn't really have. They need to be very efficient with this limited time remaining, but with Larry playing in a very strong position, able to spot out the attacker entering the bomb site. He will take the attacker out, bring us to a 2 versus 3, a 1 versus 3, with only the Gridlock left standing in this 1 versus 3 situation. And 1 versus 2 situation as he finds a kill there on Quake. Gets a kill there on the Warden as well. So 1 versus 1 situation with only Larry left standing, but the time runs out, and the attackers, also the defenders, win the round based on their time as they manage to win the round because of the time run out for the attacking team. So I believe we're going to have a little pause here because of the hand cams not being in order once more. But I think it should be a relatively short pause here as the player has apparently joined back again. And apparently also Naj is having some issues here, I heard. So yeah, for now it will just be me you're hearing, but hopefully Naj will be back soon so we can continue this duocast. Well, after the members of Tracker Can didn't successfully defend the bomb site, didn't attack the bomb site twice in a row, the defenders yet again will go to a different bomb site. However, this time around they will be going to the middle floor, which is the library and fireplace bomb site. Understandably, the defenders will choose to go towards the top floor a little bit more, and from there on put a little bit more pressure on the top floor, as it can be very valuable for the defensive team. Because like I always like to say, the defenders can use this top floor very well to defend the bomb site from above, especially that B-bomb library. But at the same time, they also need to keep it out of the hands from the attacking team, because if it ends up in the hands of the attacking team with no defender presence up top anymore, the attackers can, of course, make it an advantage to themselves by having top control. They can clear out the B-bomb fairly easily, cut off certain rotations, and also, yes, just make it impossible for defenders to play there and potentially go for a plant or defuse right after that. So in this case, it's very important for the defensive team to keep control over the top floor as long as they can, just so they can keep it out of the hands of the defensive attacking team as long as they can, and waste a lot of time for the attacking team in the process.
Razor wire up.
For now, just a moment, a matter of time to see where the attackers are deciding to come from. We do see quite a bit of defensive presence here on the top floor, which will likely also be the focus point for the attacking side to go from, as like I just explained, it is such a strong position to be in for either team. But the attackers actually have decided to rush the side. It's the Ash already, no, sorry, the Ash, it's the Ram already making her way inside, and 3 kills here from the attacking side onto the defensive side. Only Sutter and Larry left standing in this 5 versus 2 situation, making it a 4 versus 1 situation, even with a team kill happening, but Eden finishing things off in the favor of Sutter. By taking care of Sutter, and therefore winning the round in the favor of the defensive team, Team Blue, which is Trucker Clan, putting the score on 1-2.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Well, now we're proceeding to the 4th round of this match. It's currently, of course, still here the members of AGM in the lead, but finally Trucker Clan securing that first round in their favor to potentially have a nice chance to make a little comeback here.
Bomb located by attackers.
Have to reload.
For this time around, we're going to the kitchen bomb site on the ground floor, which is a very commonly played bomb site. We have seen it for so many times already, and it's just a bit of a question what kind of defensive setup we're seeing here. Like, do we see a Christmas tree extension with a rotation towards freezer, or are we mostly seeing a focus on bakery? But one thing that we did just see, or didn't really see, but that we did notice that happened, was an attempt of stomping there by the Mozzie. Did do a bit of damage there on Eden, but did get damaged himself quite a bit as well. But in the end, not a single player did get killed, and they still play and continue in a 5 versus 5. Meanwhile, Brava entering the bombs, already finding a bit of utility. The Mute Jammer being hacked, that's a huge thing here for the attacking side, as they now can attempt to breach the wall. I believe Reggie is already ready in position to actually open up this wall. So this is a huge thing here for the attacking side, as they now create a new line of sight and entry point into the bomb site, and can put loads of pressure on the bomb site itself. It's another member there getting the first kill. It was the Ram player getting a kill there on Quake, taking care of the fan barrier. We can no longer cycle through his utility that he has placed, and then gets a second kill there on Larry as well. 5 versus 3 in the favor of the members of Tracker Clan, with only 3 defensive players standing. Sutter, however, finding Eden, taking him out, but Akashi with a kill on Vapes brings us to the 4 versus 2. Double the amount of attackers left standing versus the defenders, with only Sacred and Sutter as the defending players. We need to hold of those 4 attackers. Sacred unfortunately getting injured and getting finished off there by the Yuko, and it's all coming out of Sutter. His position is known. They just spotted him out. I mean, they know he's upstairs. This is a perfect opportunity to go for plants. Exactly what the Ace is now attempting, but the Sutter did manage to get a kill. Finds himself now in a 3 versus 1 post-plant situation, where it will be quite tricky. He needs to attack his own bomb site, and also has very limited time, only 35 seconds remaining to do so. And the attackers are hunting him. He finds one, gets a triple kill, but unfortunately, 4th is no longer possible, as Akashi gets the kill there on Sutter, secures the round for Team Blue once more, and now Trucker Clan secured yet another point and puts the score on an equal 2-2. So apparently Nash is still having some internet issues. Apparently that's what I'm hearing. So we'll just... Oh, Nash is back in video ninja?
attackers need to locate.
Maybe he's
and
having.
defuse
I mean, he's not
bombs.
connected, I believe. Well, the issues might just continue a little bit longer. I believe Nash is trying to work on a fix. At least it seems so. But he cannot hear me, and I cannot hear him either. So yeah, for now it will just be me in the solo cast. I mean, he is rejoining. He might be here soon, but we'll just need to wait a little bit longer to make sure. For now, we're going to see the 5th round of this map. It's a 2-2, so it's a very equal score so far. The closest score we have seen so far. I don't think we have seen a 2-2 at this point. There's usually one team a little bit more in the lead, so I'm very happy to see a closer match for today. And very curious to see how this will go for the upcoming 2 rounds.
Increasing our defenses. Defense is up.
So it seems like Nash might be back. Nash, hello, are you here?
I've risen from the dead.
He has risen from the dead. Nash is finally returning to the game. Welcome back, Nash.
Yeah, internet decided to die, but I am not dead. So I missed a couple of things. What happened?
Well, a lot of things happened.
run me
First of all, it's
through
a 2-2 score, so meaning the Team Blue, Team Tracker, won 2 rounds in a row and basically equalized the back on track, and they are tracking to get to claim the lead in this case. So yeah, I mean, very good position for Tracker to be in. They had a very aggressive push on the kitchen from Bakery when they were attacking the bomb site, as they managed to open up the wall with Ace very easily, and then just things went very south for the members of AGM.
Well, as I said, it was destined to be very back and forth. It is a cafe matchup after all. One of the evenly distributed maps between these attacker and defender sides. And I think that when it comes down to the way this game's going to be played, one of the most powerful operators, in my opinion, on this map is that Brava that they've got on site. Just the ability to be able to hack the default cams and the amount of freedom that the default cams give you to be able to move through the map is so good. Whether they're bringing any electrical utility or not.
Yeah, indeed. Earlier, like the Bravo was able to hack the Mute Jammer, after which the Ace was able to open up the wall of Bakery towards the kitchen. So that's how they actually managed to win the round the previous time. So it's very understandable for us to see Brava once more. However, Eden already unfortunately losing the life as the Finka being taken care of, which will be a significant loss here for the attacking sides, but the most important attackers are still left standing. But with 55 seconds remaining, they do need to hurry up a little, as the time will start running out soon.
Yeah, only a minute left, and they've got to try and push out this Azami because they do want to go through this piano side. They've already got 2 players trying to pressure, and it looks like by the looks of things, Azami has been pressured away, but still kind of exists around this pixel angle with the mirror window. We do have a bit of an aggressive stance coming out of Warden right now, just seeing if he can try and catch anybody out at all. And they do have angles on the mirror window to be able to see through all the way into Cocktail, but with this player falling, they are just going to be throwing out a Dekebi call and seeing if they can get themselves in a bit more of an aggressive position. In goes the Dekebi from the bathroom, isn't able to find the shots onto the man, and the SMG-12 on the opposite side is the one that secures the kill. And now, with Ace getting one more on return, manages to find another onto the Warden. The refrag's there, and now has to push this player that's going to be rotating over towards that freezer side. He does go for the plant inside of Cocktail, and they do kind of know where he is because of that impact that goes out. And, I mean, he was visible from the cigar side anyway, so he was kind of cooked in that situation. And that's going to be another round for the defensive side.
Yeah, after losing 2 rounds in a row, the defensive side wins yet another round, and now it's a 2-3 score. Only 1 round remaining before the roll stop happens, before the first half ends. And the question is, will we see a 3-3 split, or will one of these 2 teams, will AGM enter the second half of the match with a 2-4 advantage? We'll see.
I think more than likely being able to go for this bottom floor. It should be well within the grasp of AGM to actually be able to secure this round for themselves. But with the way Tracker Clan is kind of like positioning themselves, the way they're taking gunfights, how well they're able to actually execute when they actually execute as a team, I think that potentially we could see them come out of this round with a
10
win.
seconds left before insertion.
Yeah, I mean, especially the previous time Tracker Clan attacked this bomb site, they were so strong. Like they once they deal with the Mute Jam and they were able to open up the wall, things went very
Attackers are
south
moving
for
to defuse the bomb.
the members of AGM. So I'm very curious to see what AGM actually has in store to do things differently or better this time. But they will definitely need to do something.
They definitely do, as we are going to be seeing a bit of a roam presence coming out of the defensive side, and it is going to be that Mozzie Warden that are going to be positioned upstairs with the Legion, and with these three operators being as awkward as they are to deal with, you can't exactly flash out the Warden. You can struggle to drone out the Mozzie, and even when you're actually pushing, the Legion mine's going to be a really big nuisance, and potentially could be an Achilles heel to your push.
Yeah, indeed. And attackers are just trying to find a way in. I mean, carriage control is trying to be achieved. I do see quite a bit of players towards VIP, towards dining, and I guess it's the focus point for the attacking side here to kind of approach from that side mostly. Like we see quite a bit of control here already. I'm not sure quite where the defenders are. I only see 2 defenders on the bottom floor, meaning 3 defenders are upstairs somewhere. And if they do not deal with these defenders, this will be a huge problem for them.
Definitely could be a huge problem for them in the later round, but also could be a huge gift for them if they do decide to try and go aggressive onto the site. Mute's decide to fall off his angle, and now it looks like we see the Ram that wants to actually make her way through. She's all the way through onto this half-wall area. The drone going to be going through onto the other site to see and figure out that there's nobody going to be there contesting. Decides to sprint through, is going to be holding on to these red stairs through the holes. It does manage to find the frag onto Warden, and now it's going to be a 1 versus 4 with Sacred on the tail end.
Yeah, Sacred, almost an impossible mission, and I mean, his impossible mission, he could have achieved a few kills, but it gets ended very quickly. As Akashi gets a final kill, takes care of the Mozzie, kind of ends of Mozzie, Wamai, and kind of ends his misery. But yeah, that's yet another round here. Then for Tracker Clan, things are going very much back and forth at this moment, and we do see a 3-3 split, something we haven't seen yet today. And as the controller gets disconnected, it will be resolved soonly. Likely it will be charged anytime, but hopefully our observer has a cable right very close to him, so he can successfully continue observing this match. Well, that's an interesting one.
And I think something that needs to be taken into account is like some of these players, even in like higher tiers and things like that, more formidable teams, whatever else you want to continue with, you see there is always players that just need that side swap to really kick into gear. So I think that could be very good for both sides, but I think it could be especially good for the side of Tracker Clan, who are just now going into their defensive side.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, indeed, this role swap can really mean everything. It's always a question which side favors you more. Like, I think there's always a side that favors you more on any map. I don't think it's always 50-50 for a team. And, well, given how aggressive some players have been playing, especially on the side of Tracker. I mean, no. I was actually trying to say something, but that doesn't make sense. Never mind.
I mean, the affliction for most players does tend to be that defensive side, which is why I'm assuming that it could be very good for Tracker Clan. But in general, if we consider both sides, it's possible that it could be very good for the attacking side as well, and potentially even worse for Tracker Clan. But with how close it was, I really don't see it being that being the case, because the thing is, Tracker Clan's adaptability during the round was phenomenal. There was pretty much no failure in the rounds they won. It was very much based around that mid-round adaptability, but we do see a very nice kill coming out of the players on the window. They do manage to clear out that pixel spot quite early, but lose a player in the process. Now we're going to be seeing them just push it up around the roof, wanting to try and take these hatch drops and see if they can try and take control of Cigar through to Piano, and maybe even through this white corridor / freezer.
Yeah, with the first 1.5 minutes passing by. Both sides have suffered one casualty each, but the attacks are starting to get a little bit closer by the defense. We're trying to hold the position as much as they can, just waiting for the attackers to get closer and closer. Even Echo Drones trying to scout ahead, but unfortunately, just going around a little bit too aggressively, losing the utility in the progress. But at the same time, it's Mozzie getting injured and likely to be finished. Although he's laying somewhere towards the white hallway. Yeah, he does this get finished. Kill secured. A 3 versus 4 with 1 minute now remaining.
Indeed, Frost nearly gets caught out as she does try and take a swing over onto that double door from Cocktail. Instead, she's cleaned up later on by Quakers. Now we're going to be seeing this 1v4 situation in reverse, as it is the Echo to try and deny not only the plant, but also the remaining players left alive. Takes the first engagement, gets down to pretty low HP, unable to find the second, but it wasn't close enough for the side of Tracker Clan in order for them to actually be able to secure themselves a victory.
Yeah, it's starting to become pretty clear that these teams are very, very well matched against each other. Like quite equal in terms of the skill level. Like especially if we now see like it's AGM on the attack, how they're kind of attacking like in a somewhat of a similar way and with similar success as Tracker Clan sometimes did. It really shows that these teams are really capable of
Attackers need to locate
yeah
and defuse
of bringing us a really close match between these two. I could even see overtime happening between these two.
I mean, yeah, definitely. With how they're playing so far, it is very, very possible that we see an overtime. But looking in general right now, we do see a little bit of an underperformance coming out of, well, Larry and Vapex on the side of AGM, and then the same for Diuko on the opposite side. And I think with that being the case, both teams have like quite a few players actually like pulling their weight, really showing their worth, and you know what I mean, like actually getting themselves into the game. Whereas on the side of Tracker Clan, literally everyone's in the game, and then you've got Diuko sitting on the support because maybe he's not feeling his gun skill today. So I think in a better position, even though it is currently 3-4 out of their favor, in a better position is definitely Tracker Clan. And I just think they need to show a bit more of that formidability coming through into the rest of this game.
Well, we'll see how they do as the members of AGM are on their way once more to attack this bomb site. Just of course making their way towards the top floor, which is one of the most common approaching methods for this bomb site. But as Vapes then already gets the first kill, it's Hassan getting taken care of already. The Mozzie losing his life, can no longer. Oh, he's actually trying to go for pumping from the garage, trying to contest the rappel here on the southern side, and with him being taken care of, that's one less thorn in the eye for the attacking side.
Indeed it is. And I mean, we are going to be seeing a couple drones just float about in the cigar shop side as the Echo drone just escorts its way out of there and gets itself gone. As now we do see the Wamai's droned out. They know where the ADSs are. If they had have pinged them, they could have maybe shot them through the couches, but instead they're just going to be opting to burn them out and throw in that ash charge just to clear out that shield and give themselves a bit of freedom. They do manage to get it in, but I didn't quite hear it go off. Potentially caught out by an ADS or a Wamai gadget. And that could be a real issue for the attacking side if they're not able to actually clear out this shield player that's playing on Pixel. I'm not too sure if that shield's gone or not.
I'm not very sure either, but if it is, then it's a big problem for the attacking team because that position can be extremely strong. But Eden getting it's still there. It's still there.
Oh,
As
no.
Eden then gets a kill there, it's getting a bit more difficult for the attacking team. It's unfortunately the IQ being lost. It's now 4 versus 4 situation with the last minute approaching. Attackers need to make the move sooner, but Echo even scouting ahead at the moment with his drone. He can still gather loads of very valuable information. And with 2 ADSs behind the couch, it will be very difficult to take care of the shield. I mean, they don't even have any projectiles anyway. But it's a very secure position for now.
The only person actually capable of getting rid of the shield now is the Ace. And I mean, as I said, if they were to just ping the ADSs through the from behind the sofa, you can shoot through that. You can get rid of them from the windows. Even if you have to move over towards the piano side window and just take some quick peeks to try and shoot them out that way. But that's one way that people used to try and deal with this strategy. But now we see a couple frags going either way. Dayuko finds one for himself, padding his stats here as he has been a little lackluster coming into this game beforehand. Does manage to find himself a second and a bit of a long gunfight against this Nomad. Both players just kind of like not really able to find the shots necessary until eventually Dayuko finds his last and actually gets himself back up to this 4-4 scoreline. Equalized once again.
Yeah, this match is going back and forth so much. Like it started out with 0-2, then went to 2-2, and I think from that moment it went back and forth all the time. And I mean, this is what we want to see. Like I mean, they're not bad teams, but the worst performing teams this season, 8 teams in total, have been eliminated, and we were left with the best 16 technically. And well, these kind of things are something we can expect, and we should expect to see more and more these days during stage 2. So yeah, for the third match to finally see this, I'm very happy to see this happen because this is of course exactly what we're hoping for.
Indeed, we do see once again very default sort of setups for the side of Tracker Clan. They're using a lot of these setups that are kind of like just picked from different teams, like different strategies, things like that. I know I bring them up a lot, but the Tachanka on this site, like specifically the holes he's done through the middle, like just opening that wall completely, is something that was originally coined by BDS. The shield, I'm pretty sure, was coined by Koi when they were known as Rogue at the time, the shield on Christmas. And yeah, it's just like one of those sort of like setups that is kind of just like a bunch of the strongest parts of different pro league setups, and I think it's working very well for them because obviously a lot of teams have performed this sort of strategy and setup and things like that. The only thing that could really be a detriment to them is opening up that wall in the middle of kitchen, because obviously if you lose a couple players on the outside and then you as an attacker have to make your way into kitchen, you're then pushing into one big open room instead of just pushing into a smaller room, which is easier to deal with on both sides.
Yeah, and with the attackers now having full top floor control, I believe every single defender is now playing downstairs somewhere, or at least not longer at the third floor, as it's called in the game, or the very top floor. The attackers can now start focusing a bit more on the bomb site itself. We can hear Quake already using his underbarrel shotgun, the skeleton key, to do some destruction here and there. And from this way, he will be able to make some very nasty verticality to make it very difficult to play on site. And Ren will even add more up on that, as you can now use the drones to make more of those new lines of sight. And for the two players currently playing down there, I think they are getting in a very difficult position right now.
They're going to be opening this up, and there is going to be angles into prep. There is a defender sitting underneath them waiting for a player to just wander into his sights. And I don't know if they're quite aware of it on the attacking side, but flashbangs are being prepared for this Christmas shield. As now one goes through, a second goes through. They realize there's no nade denial on this shield itself, and they are going to be just bouncing a nade around the corner from the stairs, finding that shield, and now going to be just making their way through. Suther taking out the Fenrir gadget, the FNAT, going to be positioned above that door, and a bit of an engagement comes out, but Suther just catches Akashi off guard. Like, very, very nice little peek from him, and the player in Freezer almost loses his life as he does manage to get himself away. But it's looking very good for the attacking side right now.
Yeah, 2 versus 3. The only thing the attackers need to be worrying about is the time, which is very limited. It's only 20 seconds remaining, and the two defenders, I mean, if they can hold back the attackers long enough, they can still win this round. But with Quake already being inside of the bomb site and trying to go for the defuse, things are getting a little bit problematic. And as the defenders then need to make their move, they get taken out one by one. And this way, the attacking side wins the round and is going back and forth once more as AGN adds another round to the score and puts himself on a 4-5.
Indeed, they do. They've managed to get themselves back up into the lead once again. And, I mean, as you said, this game has been very back and forth, but I think if they're going to take the lead properly, they have to do it now. If they're able to get themselves onto that match point, they're able to get themselves further and further into this game, the much easier it's going to be to get themselves out and into the next round of Swiss, rather than having to go through the entire overtime process.
Yeah, indeed. Just one round more needed for AGM to reach the match points. 2 more needed to win the match. But as the trend has been going for the past, past 5 rounds or so, we're just seeing rounds being won one by one. So if the trend continues, Tracker Clan should win another round, and then we will find ourselves in a 5-5 situation or a 5-5 score, which is always an interesting one because then the
10
upcoming
seconds
2
to
rounds are
insertion.
going to be very decisive. But for now, it's a 4-5. It's AGM in the lead.
5
They could
seconds to
potentially
go.
bring us to a 4-6 right now. But like I said, as the trend has been going, it
Attackers
could
are
also become a
moving to defuse a bomb.
5-5.
Indeed, it could be. But I imagine that it's probably going to end up going to that 6-4 scoreline, and well, I can't really make many predictions from there, considering no team has won more than 2 rounds in a row. So, looking at how this is going so far, they're still setting up on the defensive side. 30 seconds into the round, just now placing that Christmas shield, and
Oh no.
we are going to be seeing a couple players on side going for that top floor push. Suther finds an early frag onto HZ Dan, and that is a big deal for the simple reason that Fenrir is a super important operator throughout the process of a round.
Yeah.
Because once his gadgets are dealt with, you clear out any more that he can activate. But if you kill him, the ones that are activated, sure, they stay active, but he can't actually change the activation of any of them.
Yeah. And it's also the question in what extent he actually already activate all of his utility. Like usually he spends most of the time like placing them, and then once placed he starts activating them remotely. So that's also the question in what extent they actually have been activated at all.
Very true. We could be seeing a Fenrir-less game, a very pointless operator to be bringing, because, I mean, in this situation, there's very high potential that he does nothing. You've lost 2 players on the side of this defense so far, and it's looking very good for the side of AGM, as they are going to be just opening up that ceiling inside of the kitchen, and Warden of Akashi is going to have to make his way out towards Bakery Kitchen, or Bakery Wedding, sorry, as he makes his way through the single door. They're going to be watching over towards Brown Bar alongside his Tachanka.
And the Chunka playing in Brown Bard with the Yuko, the Smoke currently playing here in VIP behind that same very shields. Lots of utility in the hands of the attacking side to deal with the shield, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Yes, the Chunka can still provide a little bit of cover with the Shimuko launcher, with the fiery grenades, but he will not hold them back too long. Or at least not long enough. Eventually, attackers will be able to get enough control and will be able to deal with the shield and will be able to push the smoke as the flashbangs are coming out. The shield has been destroyed. Last smoke canister is going to be used, or the second last smoke canister is going to be used. But with 35 seconds remaining, the time, however, starts working in the advantage of the defense a little bit here, and the attackers do need to hurry up as the time is running out for them.
Indeed it is, but it is still a 3v5. Obviously, it could change very quickly once they start flooding themselves
There we
into
go.
sight, but Buck manages to find an early one and decides to try and commit for the plan. Tachanka still going to be positioned in Brown Bar, could potentially catch out this player if he tries to rotate in through the kitchen door, but doesn't in time. Smoke hovering around still inside of Christmas. There isn't a player left outside of that window, but Tachanka loses his life. Quake managing to secure that kill for his team, and I mean, after finding the one previous, it is going to be looking very good. Smoke falls down to 1 HP, as now he gets swung on by Quake, and, well, that's going to be match point for the side of AGM.
Yeah, that's match point for AGM. Indeed, a long time since we have seen 2 round wins in a row, but AGM has managed to make it work. Where now Tracker Clan finds himself in a bit of a tougher situation. They need to win 2 rounds in a row without losing a single to still bring this match to match point and still have the dream of winning this match, because otherwise they are going to lose it. Where AGM now has 2 rounds to make at least win one of them to still be victorious.
Indeed they do.
Protect your bombs.
Obviously, being at 6-4, it's pretty favourable, but it's not game over for defenders yet, considering, yes, you only have to win 1 round to win, but the defenders only have to win 2 rounds before they get you to overtime. And realistically, once you get to overtime, you're a bit questioning. It's a little questionable because you're just kind of questioning which side's going to favour you, which site on the defensive side is going to favour you, which site on the attacking side is going to favour you, etc., etc. A lot of things go into how well teams are going to perform when they're actually switching sides every round. But the biggest part is the fact that as a defender, or not a defender, as
Recover the diffuser.
a person that's on the side that has 4 points, your mindset is constantly thinking about the 4 rounds minimum you have to play in order to secure yourself a win.
Yeah.
Whereas on the opposite side, you're thinking about that minimum 2 rounds that you have to play in order to get yourself a win, or minimum 1 round, sorry, that you have to play to get a win. So it's the sort of mental game on both sides is very, very different right now.
Yeah, surely it's a lot of less stress here for the side of AGM, even though they are still like not very safe. Like just 2 round losses will already lose their advantage, cause them to lose the advantage. So they still need to be very careful, but they're still a little bit in the safer position. And we will potentially see this in the way they will be playing this round. But for now, the first minute has been passing by, not a single bit of damage being dealt. So the question is, where are the attackers and what are they doing at the moment?
Indeed. We are just seeing Ryuji hovering around inside of this library area, and this is a really good position for the defenders, especially on this first floor when they're defending the top floor, because a lot of teams will tend to go for these sort of vertical nades, and you also have a lot of these angles towards the hatch drops, alongside some flank potential coming up white and red. Jaeger of Akashi is going to be hovering around that white corridor window. We do see there is a player on it right now. I think he's very aware of that, as it's going to be the Sledge just kind of hovering around, decides to try and get himself up onto the opposite side of that window, tries to shoot him, but shoots the backpack on his back and isn't actually able to deal any damage to him because it's not his hitbox. Now, he's just going to be backing off, playing around this cocktail freezer area and potentially dropping the hatch.
Yeah, with 1 minute remaining, every player is still alive, and exactly at the 1 minute mark, one player does get taken care of, and that's the Wamai losing his life. Also, the Frost is very low HP and could easily be finished, but as Kashi and Eden both get 1 kill each, it's now 4 versus 3 in the advantage of the defending team. The tracker would really need these points, but now it's Eden getting taken care of, which brings us back to a 3 versus 3. Frost, who is solo, still gets a kill there on Larry. A 3 versus 2 now with only Sacred and Quake left standing, after which Quake gets taken care of and also Sacred gets taken care of. It's Tracker Clan adding 1 more point to the board, putting them on 5-6, 1 round away from denying the match point and securing overtime.
Indeed. Round 12, 12 rounds, potentially the min-max that we could be reaching right here. And, well, we're going to have to wait and see to see if Tracker Clan are actually able to pull themselves back into this matchup. But at the moment, we are going to be going back to Fireplace and Reading, a site that we haven't seen since much earlier in the game.
Protect your bombs from being defused by
And,
attackers.
well, they've really got to put up a showing here. Neither team really have any sort of major statistic going into this map, or this site, sorry. So this is literally just a wait and see type situation. They are going to be playing a very default mirror strat on the top floor, which is the side of Tracker Clan. And more than likely there'll be something on the board for the attacker lineup to deny that. And I think at the moment, it looks like Ram, but realistically should be something like a Twitch or etc, unless they're planning on not dealing with the mirrors and instead just opening them as they go.
Yeah, last time when it was Tracker Clan attacking this bomb site, they went for the rush and actually did very well on attacking the bomb sites. The question is, what kind of attacking strategy will AGM perform? I mean, again, the defense is very much focused on the top floor, which leaves the bottom floor kind of vulnerable, especially in these early minutes. And it will be a good opportunity for AGM to benefit from that, but we'll see very soon what their plan actually is.
I imagine it'll be much more methodical and slow, something a little bit more careful for these teams to actually try and utilize. But at the moment, we are just seeing a bit of drone work coming out of the attacking side. They have lost 4 drones so far, which is a little unfortunate, especially when the info game is so important in this matchup so far. But they are opening up these windows to apply pressure towards the mirror players that are going to be positioned around pallets and also inside of Cocktail.
Yeah, first minute has passed by. Not a single bit of damage has been dealt yet. It's mainly because the attackers are still trying to get some control and are trying to get proper information on where the defenders are located. One defender, important one, gets spotted out on the red stairs, just playing safely, trying to catch off some of the rotations from the attacking team, some of the important areas, and just try to stall the attacking team as much as possible.
Indeed, we do see a bit of aggression coming out of a couple of these defenders trying to get themselves some early damage on the board, but it's the Yuko that actually falls off a little bit. A nice little flick from Sacred getting the Legion player. Both players struggled a little bit with the reaction time, but the Yuko is soon to follow after the refrag comes out onto Vape, and we are going to be seeing just a bit of back and forth between these teams. The one Mai still alive around that pallets area and potentially going to be taking an engagement against Quake here, as I think his window doesn't get opened. Instead, it's the one inside of Cocktail that gets opened. Ryuji manages to find himself a triple for the round, but it gets cleaned up as the Gridlock makes her way in through the opposite side. And I mean, realistically, if you want two operators alive in any given situation, it's going to be this Gridlock for your flank watcher and this Ram in order to be able to get yourself some vertical pressure that you didn't yet have.
Yeah, this vertical pressure is going to make things very, very difficult for the defensive players, but the question is, where are they playing? I guess I'm mostly playing towards the southern side of the bomb site. I mean, the Mirror is playing there right on the hallway, just waiting for any attacker to expose themselves. And with 15 seconds remaining, attackers need to make their move. Flashbangs are happening, friendly flashbangs even, as Sutter drops as the flashbang was being thrown, gets finished off by the C4, and then it's Eden with the final kill onto Sacred. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a 6-6 score. The first overtime of stage 2 is a fact. And the match is now being extended with a maximum of 3 rounds. And the question is, which of these two teams will secure 2 of them and will secure the full points?
We now enter a round robin best of 3.
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's how you can call it. With a roll stop every single round.
Yeah, it's literally a round robin best of 3. There is a blue team timeout, a timeout for Tracker Clan. Very good time to use it. They have managed to claw themselves back all the way to overtime without having to speak to their coach, and they've finally just taken a step back, and they're deciding to talk about what's going wrong in a miraculous comeback in order to be able to secure those 2 rounds in a row after it's been so 50-50. You're now in a position where you're able to sit back, talk to your coach, discuss what's going wrong on your side, and really push against that. There is a pause still available for the side of AGM.
Yep.
But realistically, a lot of these teams don't tend to use them, and I don't know if it will be used by the side of AGM.
Yeah, might be unlikely, but we'll see how things go. Right now, it's every split was 3-3, right? Yeah. So every split was 3-3. So it's hard to say which team is doing better on which side right now. And of course, we're going to have rolls up every single time, but right now it's going to be Tracker Clan getting 2 defensive rounds, and AGM getting 2 offensive rounds for the upcoming 3 rounds. But yeah, like I said, it's hard to say which team is better on which side. The only thing that we could potentially say is who was defending the last half? It was Tracker, right? On the defensive side? Or were they attacking?
Yeah, Tracker.
Tracker Clan was defending, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically they are still like going on with the momentum that they did have for the final rounds, which might still give them a little advantage there. But like I said, it's hard to say who's better on which side.
Yeah, it's really hard to say, especially when it's 3-3 both sides. I think the scorelines were like relatively different in order of rounds.
Yeah.
But also potentially could have been exactly the same. I have no idea. But either way, it looks to me at the moment like they're gonna really want to try and push this forward for the side of Tracker Clan. Like, they really want to be able to take these gunfights. They really want to be able to secure themselves with this win, because at the moment they're afraid of this stagnation that they're potentially going to experience. But Sacred with the opening frag onto Dan.
Yeah, that's a good way to start around here for the side of AGM. Just taking care of that Legion who cannot no longer deploy all of his utility. And also the attackers are already making a pretty nice entry, pretty fast entry. But either waiting there, waiting for the attackers, finding Sutter, taking out the Finca, and bringing us back to an equal 4 versus 4 with more gunfights coming up. As Eden finds another one, takes out Larry. Almost gets found here by Sacred, or someone got found. The Jaeger almost got found there. But now it's a 4 versus 3 in the advantage of the Tracker clan.
Okay, so I've just had a quick look, and the round order so far was 2 rounds for AGM,
Drop the diffuser.
Yeah.
2 rounds for Tracker Clan, then 1-1, then 1-1 again. So
It's
back
just-
and forth, and
yeah,
then 2 rounds
it's
for
the
Tracker
same.
Clan, 2 rounds for AGM. It's
the
literally
same.
exactly the same, just inverse.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's interesting how those things can go sometimes.
But we are going to be seeing, well, same thing once again. We do have a very aggressive player trying to make his way through the piano area, but
Oh,
doesn't
no.
quite notice the freezer player. Is able to res themselves out of this frost map, but looks like they're going to be opting against it in favor of a teammate coming to res them to make sure that they don't have this clear debuff.
Attackers have located
Which
a bomb.
I'm not sure if that's how it works. I'm pretty sure if you get res by
Yeah.
someone else, you don't have the debuff.
No, you don't. You don't.
Diffuser has
Ah,
been
there we go.
dropped. Attackers
So
recovered
that's the
diffuser.
point of getting revived over reviving yourself, basically. So yeah, with a 3-3, we're now continuing with still 55 seconds remaining. Plenty of time for the attackers to still make things work, but at the same time, also 3 defenders left standing in still some pretty strong situations. Mai also making his way up to defend this long wide hallway, which can be a very high traffic area later on. But for now, just waiting for someone to make a move. Ying cadets are coming out. This is the move they were waiting for. Ying is doing her work, but it gets one of the attackers gets taken out. Triple kill there for the player. Ruji with a kill there on Quake, and now it's all coming out to Sacred. Will now find himself in a 2 versus 1 with the Jaeger being injured, but going to be revived. So technically, it will be 3 versus 1. But as Eden finds the kill there on Sacred, it's Striker Clan securing the first round of overtime and putting themselves on match point with a 7-6 score.
Well, first round of overtime going the way of Tracker Clan, and realistically, they could be able to end this off in 14 rounds, not even having to go to number 15. They have played so well, and they're the first team in this matchup to actually secure 3 rounds in a row. And that is
Yeah.
a big deal,
That is.
considering how back and forth this game has been so far.
Yeah, and also something that AGM can no longer achieve.
Attackers need to locate.
Yes, they can still win the upcoming
Bomb
2 rounds, but we will never have a 3 rounds streak in this case. Of course, winning the upcoming 2 rounds will still secure the win for AGM, which is what they will be looking for. But with Tracker now being on this match point, they will find themselves in a bit more of a nicer position, a bit more of a less stressful situation, as they only need 1 round out of the upcoming 2.
Indeed. It looks like at the moment it's a little bit of a struggle for the side of AGM. They're finding opening kills. I think 2 rounds in a row now they've found the opening kill, and they've still been unable to actually find the round win. And that's where it starts to get a little scary for your team on side. If you're able to find these opening kills, cool. But if you're not able to translate into round wins these opening frags that you're finding, then you're a little bit kind of boned on especially on the attacking side, because it's super important that you're able to translate and like decision make on the fly as an attacker.
Yeah, indeed. And for Tracker Clan right now, there's quite a bit of pressure on them. Of course, I mean, they want to win the round right now, and right in this round. And with them on the attack, we'll see how things go. Because of course, it has been some time since they have been playing as the attacking team. And for now, they will mostly be still working their way towards the building, as it's like a quite tall building, and quite a lot of time involves on actually ascending this building. But as they're now getting in position, they will start putting some pressure.
Yeah, we did see a bit of a messed up Kiba there. Diuko going to be hovering around inside of the outside door there. He's going to be trying to take the swing onto the door and make his way into the library, but gets killed from above by Quake, and they have found the opening kill once again. This is going to be 3 rounds in a row, I'm pretty sure. It could be 2, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 rounds in a row that they found the opening frag. And 2 of those rounds, they haven't been able to actually find themselves a round win. And that's not going to actually give you much confidence coming into the remainder of this, considering you've just lost a player straight away in return. And they seem to be relatively aware of this player that's going to be hovering around on lower white.
Yeah, aware, suspicious. Some shots were shot in the direction, but the mute doesn't seem to be cared too much. And as he's now being ignored, he might have a perfect opportunity to go for a nasty flank. As the Fink is trying to attempt to throw some nades from below. We can see the mute slowly getting closer. In yet he did get spotted out, but he gets the kill, or at least they injure the Fink. However, helps the player back on his feet. But then Sutter is still fast enough to secure the kill in his favor and bring this round to 3 versus 4 in the favor of the members of AGM.
Magnet online.
Ace drops down. I don't know if it's by accident. I don't know if he like fell through the hatch or if he just came off the rappel, but he did drop down to a lower story of the building, and he is going to be trying to make his way up white by the looks of things. We do see a frag in return onto Quake, who is that mirror player, and we are going to be seeing Suther going to be hovering around on this pallets area. Another frag comes out from Akashi with a nade, and now we're in such a good position for these attackers. They do, however, lose one, but manage to find another in return. Suther on for the quad, has to find this in order to win out the round.
Oh
And the
my god.
whiff from Eden actually allows it to be the case.
Oh my god. The shotgun range increase, or like the shotgun buff that happened, saved the round in this case. And now match point for either team. Overtime match point it is. Just one more round for these teams, and one more round that can go to either of these two teams, and will cause the team to win and secure the full points. The good thing is it's Tracker Clan on the defense, which did work out better for them technically right now. Actually, yeah, it did work out better for them. While
Attackers
the
need to
attacking side
locate and
did
defuse
not
as
work
many
out as
bombs
well
as they can.
for AGM here, but it's only one round difference, and it's hard to say what extent it will make a huge difference here.
Yeah, exactly. We are going to be seeing them go up to this second floor fireplace reading, and the little drone chase from Ryuji there. But they have had pretty good success rate on this site so far, on defense, the side of Tracker Clan. So I think more than likely we're going to be seeing a very confident Tracker Clan coming into this matchup, and I can't really imagine anything more.
5 seconds left before insertion. Attackers must
Yeah, the
locate
final
and defuse
round
the
of
bomb.
this final match of today is starting right now, and the big question is who will be victorious and will secure the most points during this match. We'll see how things go, but for now it's again, it's like the usual for Cafe. Like the attackers will take about a minute to ascend the building, to get in position and start putting some pressure, while the defenders are now still securing the last bits of setup here and there.
Indeed, a bit of changes coming out on the
Attackers have located a
attacking
bomb.
side. We do see the Hibana in this round instead of a couple of those other operators, but they're just going to be trying to use that to open up that red wall more than likely. The gridlock's already going down onto the red stairs to catch out any of these lurkers that are going to be trying to make their way up in the later round. And one of those players is going to be Eden, as he's 15 and 10, going to be hovering around on this lower red side. They do a lot of damage to Lowry on this white window, and his nades are just getting caught by these magnets right now.
And nades being thrown in, trying to find a target, trying to find some kind of utility to destroy, but for now not doing too much yet. There's 1 minute and 45 seconds, and attackers are still trying to make their way into the building. I think they might have some control over the western side of the map, but not too much yet. And with Sledge still here on Repel, it is a strong position where he can catch any defender off guard any moment. And just waiting for the defender to make a mistake. Meanwhile, Ash already here on the balcony, the Sigurd balcony, waiting for the defender to expose himself there in pillars. The Legion currently playing there. The Legion does expose himself, but in the end doesn't get taken out. But it's the Wamai losing his life to the hands of Sutter, and then the Gridlock losing the life towards the Yuko. And Vape getting taken out by Hasdan. 3 versus 4.
Exactly, 3 versus 4 right now. Tracker a little scared, as they really don't want to lose out this round. There's going to be a lot of loud comms going on for both sides, and I think that can be taken advantage of, especially when Lowry is able to take out another player of Tracker Clan. It's now going to have to be a 2v4 clutch if they're actually going to be able to get themselves out of this round with a win on the defensive side. C4 goes out, isn't able to find its mark, and now the pressure from the verticality is going to be a really big deal for this mirror. If they're able to get themselves a nade through, which it doesn't look like they have any more of, they are going to be able to quickly secure her on that side. But they do have a lot of these flashbangs. In goes one, unable to find its mark, not able to actually flash out any of these players. The mirror window is going to be opened, and the sledge is going to be getting aggressive into the site. Does remove the goo mine, and now we're going to be in this 1 versus 4 situation. Eden hovering around on that pillar side, going to be waiting to see if anybody tries to run out of the door and get themselves into a bit of a safer position. Does manage to secure one for himself, but is he going to be able to find any more? Hibana falls, makes his way through this red 90 corridor, having a look around, see if he can find this sledge that is going to be hovering around that side, and decides to move his way over towards pillar. Does he know about the player that's going to be above? He is checking it just in case. Doesn't stay there for long enough, and instead is just going to be trying to pre-fire over towards the other side. Ash takes a swing onto the new balcony and decides to get the kill, and that is going to be the game, set, and match to the side of AGM.
AGM, and indeed a very, very hard fought victory here, going all the way to the final round, the maximum rounds of this game that the game has to offer. But a well-deserved win in this case. 18 kills there for Sutter, 16 for Eden, huge amounts. And I'm not even sure, did we see Rios during this match or not? No, right?
Well,
I don't think so, right? No, I don't think we did. But either
I
way,
don't think so.
load of amount of kills there on either side, and I think both of these teams did absolutely well. And even now with Tracker Clan descending to the middle matches, as they're called, I think they might still become or still be one of the stronger teams in that group of this competition.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think this match was a real showing for both sides on how good they really can be. But I think overall, I think both teams should be able to come out of this and be able to re-look at that game in order to be able to really try and learn something from how that game has unfolded and what they're going to be seeing next. But something we do have is the Swiss system updated with team logos.
Yeah, that we can see. Like, of course, the position of these teams might still change a little bit, but at least we know in which part of the bracket they are going to be. So we have MDF, Sevens Esport, and AGM in the topper part, where they have won 1 game and lost 0. Where it is, I need to think about the team name again. Help me out.
Cosma.
Cosma Games and Cosma Gaming, indeed, being like they're lower together with Wii Sports and Tracker Clan. So of course there is still a total of 5 games to be played this week, of 3 more tomorrow and 2 more on Wednesday. So after Wednesday we will have an idea of which team will be versus who in the next week and in the second week of the Swiss system. But for now, these are the first results of this system.
Oh, absolutely phenomenal games today, and I mean, I'm tired. I can't lie.
It surely has been, yeah.
It has been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed casting with Mr. Bozo Max, and yeah, that's all from me. If you want to see more of me, check me out on twitch.tv/Naj. I like to shout myself out because I don't get enough attention.
Well, and to all our viewers, while we still have your attention, we will be back tomorrow with 3 more matches. Let me just quickly check which ones those are. That's Minions versus Zark, Flaw 7 versus Mafia Squad, and EOS versus MVG. So those will be tomorrow, and your casters for tomorrow will be Pubble and Pasta, with me as the observer and Void once again as the producer. So for now, I want to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. So have a good evening. I'll see each other later. Bye-bye.